Welcome to the road to the NHC, the weekly show that's your ticket to the 2025 National Handicapping Championship in Las Vegas. Each week, we'll dive into the world of the online tournament play, teaching you about qualifiers and feeders and everything else associated with any of these online tournaments. My partner to the road to the NHC, of course, is none other than 2022 NHC champion, David Harrison. What is up, brother?
Hey, what's up, Scotty, my friend? How's everything?
Everything's really good. Excited about this weekend. There's a tournament over at Monmouth coming up. We were talking about before the show, and I'm looking forward to playing in that cash tournament. I've been struggling in the cash tournaments, but I've been on the opposite side of it. I've been doing pretty good in the mythical tournaments.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, the pick your prize is a real, probably, I'm going to say it's the best hybrid tournament. Brian Skirker runs, he's got great tournaments, usually affordable tournaments. This tournament, I mean, many guys I know qualified in the last couple of years by finishing between 15th and 20th on the board. They got their NHC seat. So it's a 2K buy-in. Unfortunately, I won't be able to play this year. I have a prior commitment, but yeah, I encourage anybody. It's really good odds to get us a NHC seat and maybe BC seat. Yeah. Even if you have two NHC seats, you pick your prize. The prize can be cash. I mean, yeah. So that's a good opportunity.
No, and they do a really nice job.
They do a great job. Yep.
And there's 21 NHC seats available in that tournament.
Yeah.
That's just incredible.
Yeah. It's a great, like I said, Brian, they put together a really, really valuable tournament there for players.
They do.
And Monmouth is just great like that. They do a lot for horse players. Yeah.
So here in this show, by the way, shout out to Oldie and Dan and Ellen.
Hey, Ellen.
So in what we're trying to do here is help people understand how to qualify for an NHC and possibly get an NHC berth. And you, first of all, you want to go get an account over at the NTRA. Easy to do. It's $50 a year. Go do that, ntra.com. And then you want to get an account here, put a little bit of money in your player's account in horseplayers.com and horsetourneys.com. And when you do that, you'll see like a feeder right here. There's a feeder. You can see Laurel Park. We're covering races 1 through 4 and Gulfstream Park races 2 and 3 for $18. And I want to say it usually, how many people usually in this thing? Usually about 400 or 500
in the qualifier.
Yeah, in the feeder.
In the feeder is probably a little less. So I'm going to say about 250.
And would you say about 40 or 50 people will qualify for the qualifier?
Yeah, it usually in the 30s. Yeah, 20, 25, 30, depending on the amount of entries. Yeah.
Okay. So for $18, you have a chance to get into the $75 NHC qualifier, which starts about 3 o'clock, 3:30 this afternoon. And that's where you start building up points and for good finishes. And I think it's a strategy. I don't know about you, David, but it's more just trying to be conservative in the sense where you're just trying to get your horses to horses that will run good. And then if you get a little bit of luck, then it's good. You're not trying to be super aggressive. I don't think you're also trying to just grab a bunch of long shots and hope that it hits, because I don't think long-term wise, that's going to be a good strategy. You?
No, but then again, I have seen some races that looked inscrutable with horses that have never run well on paper to pop up at 60-1 and blows the tournament out of the water. So you never know, but especially with the feeders, the races we'll be going over early today. In the feeders, I try, but there are only 6 races. If you miss 2 winners, you're getting way behind the 8 ball, even if they're chalk. So in the feeders, I try to just pick winners and move on. When it comes to the qualifier, I always throw in 1 bomb or 1 value horse. And sometimes the bomb on a Friday, it may be 12 or 15-1, right? So it just seems like there's more competitive racing on the weekends and larger fields and more of a probability of a long shot or a cap horse coming out. So, yeah.
I think you have to go with your gut as well. Like when I handicapped for Monday's NHC, and qualifier, and I ended up getting, I think, 20th out of 416 people, but I lost the first 4 races, and it was one horse that went off at 19-1 that got me back in contention, and then I had a bunch of favorites and second choices in the next 4 races, and I think 3 of them won, and I got 20th, and so I got more points, and but anyways, like I said, go to ntra.com, and there is a big difference, like in some of these. Most of these pick and praise that we're playing online, these are what we call mandatory races, where everybody's having to play the same races. And I think there's a certain not as much pressure in those as there would be, let's just say, in the NHC, David.
Yeah, well, because they pick the races for you. So a challenge is one of the challenges of the contest world is resolved already. You don't have to pick the races. Now, there's good and bad to that, as far as I'm concerned, because in all honesty, I usually will play the direct qualifiers on weekends if I really like the card and I think I have a long shot or two. And if I don't like the 12 races or 15 races or they have tracks that I'm really not interested in, I'll pass. But yeah. You takes that challenge away of picking your races, so you have to pick what's there. So it takes one element off the table right off the bat.
It does. All right, so let's get to Laurel race number 1, and we'll start the handicapping of this. So. All right, why don't we run the race first? So this is what we call our race view, and this is a new product that we're going to be releasing soon. I'm going to get on the Stretch Run show tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about this and a few other things, some really cool stuff coming up, and with EquinEdge. And so I'm going to share some of that information with the guys on their Stretch Run show. But let's run this race here, race number 1 from Laurel Park. This is our race simulator, and see what it's suggesting. You can see the 1 horse in order from the top all the way down to the 10 horse at the bottom. And, you know, it looks like the 10 could get a good trip. The problem I have with the 10 is the win percentage is only 4%. So I don't know. And this horse is 7-5 right now, although we have some time before the race.
Yeah. I thought this race, Scotty, first of all, who does the simulator have?
It has the 1 horse. Yeah. Yep, it has the 1 horse.
Yeah, that makes sense. The challenge I found in this race, Scotty, was that we've got a bunch of horses who are trying a distance on the turf for the first time. I mean, I did look at the 10. The 10 now is a drop down from 30,000 non-winners at 2 down to a 16. And you'll notice the only turf starts that this filly has had is at 5 furlongs. So, and even the dirt starts are 6 furlongs, 5.5. There's one, I believe that's her maiden race or her inaugural race on February 3rd at Oaklawn. Mile and a 16th in a maiden special weight, just totally packed it in. So I'm not sure that horse she's gonna really want to get a distance. And we've got the same situation with the 5, who looks like the lone early speed to me.
Let's see. Let's sort real quickly. We'll sort the top base number, and we'll see if that horse is going to get the lead. Yeah. So it looks like yes, but the 10 is very fast as well, and you can see wow, the system really has the 5, stopping, and the horse is 25-1 right now.
Right, and Scotty, they look like the 5 and the 10 to me look like pure sprinters. Even though the 5 is an Irish war cry, which is out of curling, so that would indicate that maybe distance possibility. But you've got to prove it to me. I'm not going to go by breeding. If these usually there's a reason why horses just sprint out of 25 starts, right? The 5 horse, right. Because the trainers who have had this horse, they realize she probably doesn't want to go, and now you're getting to the bottom, like, well, we've only won 1 race, so let's throw her on the turf and stretch her out. So they're looking for grasping for straws at this point, in my opinion. So when I look at a race like this, I'm looking, okay, who's got the distance and who's been at the distance and who looks more suited to a distance. And actually 3 horses I came up with is Major Houlihan looks logical to me. The challenge is you've got a prep race at a mile and a 16th on a muddy track at Pimlico. This horse is 1 for 11 lifetime. First try on the turf. So they're giving it a shot. And she's an Army mule, which to me, I don't love the turf breeding. But if you start going through the breeding on all these horses, there's not much there as far as turf breeding. So I think I was leaning toward the 1 Major Houlihan. I thought 3 Catch the Kitten. She has a couple of distance races on the turf at Laurel back last fall. They're not bad races. We got a 6th and a 3rd. We basically ran evenly. And so I think she may handle the distance okay. And the other horse that I had some interest in was the 9 Believe in Freedom. This horse had won at a mile and an 1/8 back in August of 22 on the track. So race over the track. This horse got up at 10-1 to win by a neck, stalked the pace. So that to me was an impressive race. The issue is you've got to decide, do you want to go with a 6% trainer off an extended layoff? Okay. I probably will pass on that, even though I think this horse has a chance to run. She's got a chance to run well here. And I always love a race that, over the turf, and she's proven at the distance. But with that being said, I'm going to bite the bullet and probably go with the chalk here, the major drop down, try and turf the first time. Hugh McMahon's barn is, they're 15% or so. I guess look at the numbers. So yeah, I'm going with the trainer who's got more success on the docket there. So I'm using the 1 Major Houlihan on 1 ticket. My backup would be 3 Catch the Kitchen with an honorable mention to Believe in Freedom, who I may throw into exactors or triples.
Well, Dan makes a really good point. 87 feet the rail's out. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a rail out that far.
That's pretty far. Yeah.
That's insane. So you have to figure that's going to favor speed, which of the horses that have speed or tactical speed, it would be one of these horses. So, but it does seem rough. There's nobody really bred with a ton of turf, right? The win percentages are pretty equal. I will say this, the 1 horse is interesting. It's 32%. It's the top EquinEdge pick, and it's 6-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. And that's, pretty incredible. And it is facing easier than what it's been facing. This is an easier group. So just from that perspective, saving the ground, Victor Carrasco's aboard. And when Victor is aboard for McMahon, they are 23% in 13 samples over the last 2 years. So what do you make of this 8-horse Mama's Lino? I mean, this horse has burnt some money the last couple of times. It seems to be facing a little bit easier. It's run okay. And the GSR drops a little bit, but this could be the sneaky one. And when you're trying to get some points in the tournament here, right, in this feeder, maybe a horse like this is one you should be looking at, because getting 114 pounds, so that's not bad. And I don't know. What do you think about this horse?
I'd probably throw her out. It's 3-year-old against olders, facing her elders. And I'm not sure this horse is classing up with these horses. Ran in a 10,000 claimer last time, and now 16 on the turf. And also I had to question, Scotty, of the distance with this horse. Further this horse has gone, furthest she's gone is a mile, and it kind of was tiring on both races. It looks more like a sprinter to me. So to me, it's a pass on the 8. I would give a shot on the 9 with the 9 rather than the 8, even though I would be concerned about the layoff with the 9.
Well, let's see. Bentley is 13% in 16 samples off of the layoff. We look at the works, nothing to really get excited about. Doesn't mean that the horse is not working good. Just there's really nothing there to really see. And then the 6 horse La Tache. I mean, this horse is this horse does have. Well, this horse broke her maiden going 8 furlongs on the turf.
Correct.
And then the last couple of races, I mean, this horse improved second off the layoff last time out, and maybe this is a horse to look at.
Yeah, this horse. I did take a look at her, and it's one of my angles, to be honest with you. Third time off a layoff, and the second race looks a little better than the first, back to the surface that we're on now. And the horse she won at a mile, right? You said at Tampa for maiden 32. So that would lead you to believe a 20 non-winners at 2 lifetime is right up her alley here. It probably classes up. But again, I was looking for a little better of a price if I was going to reach out for somebody other than the one. I just think the one with the drop down. But yeah, no, the 6 has got a really decent shot. Sure.
Okay, so the $24 million question, who are you going to go with here?
Okay, it's one Major Houlihan based on primarily the drop down. I'm going to take a guess that this horse, even though Army Mule doesn't smack you in the face as a major turf horse, I'm going to give a shot with this horse off the drop down. And my second pick would be number 3, Catch the Kitchen. Catch the Kitten. I keep saying catch.
No, you're liking kitchen. Okay, so 1-3 for David.
1-3. And what's it for you, Scotty?
Yeah, I'm struggling with this a little bit. I want to really go with a 9 because this horse has earned most of her money on the turf, where the one hasn't. But in 11 tries, the one horse has earned 64,000. I'm having a hard time getting by the 6 horse jockey trainer combination, which is only 6%. So that's been tough. And the only thing this horse really has done is break its maiden, albeit on the turf. I don't know that I can go that way. I think, what I always remind myself of whenever I'm struggling, I just defer to the EquinEdge picks, and I will say this. When you look on paper at the one horse, does this look like a 6-5 shot to you?
No.
Okay.
I agree.
Yet it's 6-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. So it's 32%. It's the top EquinEdge pick. I just have to go with the one. I can go handicap this for another hour and I'm not going to be any closer. I'm not going to figure something out here. Eric says he kind of likes the 10 horse. We might as well look at the 10. It's, it is getting a lot of action. Contreras, third time with Contreras. I think the reason this horse is getting this kind of action is because of what it did 2 and 3 back, but that being said, if you look, those were sprint races against easier competition. The GSR drops, the win percentage drops. I mean, the metrics could have easily used this horse, but there's not a single metric that likes this horse.
Right. Scotty, I think part of the issue, I did recall one of our prior shows, me mentioning trying to get more familiar with the Maryland circuit, which I have been doing. So this is a good experience, a good exercise for me at Laurel. It's the barn. This barn, Karen McGee, the horse first race with horses 31%. This barn is on fire, and I think the barn does take money. My concern is I see Eric's point, but my concern is the distance, as I mentioned before. But wouldn't surprise me. And again, there's 4 or 5 horses that could win this race. That wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I believe there's a few of our algorithms that look at the trainer win percentage first off the clean, look at all those different things, and still only giving this horse 4%. Yeah. But in a race like this, for those of you that are going to use the 10, completely get it. But at 7-5, I don't see the value of using a horse like that in a tournament. It doesn't make any sense because there's too much downside. Now, if you look at a 7-5 favorite and you're like, this is free points, then I can see it. Like, hey, take the points, mandatory races, it's all good. But there's too much unknown here to be using a horse at 7-5.
Right. With that being said, at comparing the odds of the 9 with the 10, the 9 right now is 9-1. I probably not going to get that at post time, probably a little lower, but at least the 9 has proven that the horse can win at a distance, and she also won over the track. The thing is now you have to decide, are you going to take the risk with the layoff and a 6% trainer? Right. But she won with a 6% trainer back on August 30th, right, of 2022. So, I'm going to use the 9 as my third choice because I'm just not sold on that layoff.
All right. Well, I'm on with you on the 1-3. All right. Let's get to Laurel Park, race number 2. We've got 27 minutes before race number 1 at Laurel Park. So we actually have a lot to get through because this is these are pick and praise. And so we've got to do races 2, 3, and 4 left and races 2 and 3 at Gulfstream Park. So let's run through this real quick. Let's just run the race and we're going to have to fly. Six horse seems to hold all the cards. It's also a horse to watch. Top pace, top SOR, top EE morning line, EE second pick. And in that situation, 31% chance of winning. The horse is 38% win. And in the money, 59%. And the one's going to be flying late. And it's a first-time starter. Ooh, okay. So now what do? It's 44%. It's a first-time starter, top EquinEdge pick, and the simulator likes the horse.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Scotty. I'm tossing the 1.
You're going to toss the 1.
I refuse to play Hamilton Smith on a first-time starter ever.
Okay, so Hamilton Smith, let's see why that is. And that's, oh, for 38. Okay, I got to tell you. I'm
not the only one.
Okay, listen to me, though. This is a true story I just told on the coaching class yesterday. By the way, if you guys have not taken a coaching class, go to www.equinedge.com. It's free to do so. We have 4 classes a week. I do a class, Oldie does a class, Chris and Justin. And I can tell you that there's so much to be learned. There was a couple of new people on the coaching class. They asked a bunch of questions. It's limited to 20 people, and it was so much fun. And but I can't stress enough, you really start learning and understanding why EquinEdge is so popular amongst players.
Right. And Scotty, I stumbled on the coaching class with, you sent me an email probably about 2 years ago. I went on and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of fun. We had some fun, and you can learn so much more on the coaching classes than working your way through it individually. Because I had some questions and I asked them, and it's, interactive class, and everybody's really helpful and much more. I was 10 times more proficient with EquinEdge after that one session than I was before. So
for sure, you learn so much more. Absolutely, there's no question. In an intimate setting, you can ask questions. On our shows, it's just impossible to learn anything. It just really is. It's moving so fast, and there's no way. But we have some good announcements tomorrow on the Stretch Run show, so you're not going to want to miss that. I think 12:30 Eastern time is the show. Chris can confirm that. And then, okay, in here, I'm assuming you're going with the 6?
Yeah, I think we have no other choice. I'm going to take the 3 to 5 and move on. The only other horse that, I don't know, do I feel lucky? I always feel lucky. Do I want to risk? I'm going
to start calling you Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I feel lucky, punk?
Yeah,
you feel lucky, punk?
Yeah.
I don't mean to call you a punk, but
that's okay.
I'm always looking for some kind of, I'm looking for either chaos or, be honest with you, I hate picking 6 to 5 shots or 3 to 5 shots and give them out. I mean, that's just not my style. But since it is a feeder and I want to move on, I will mention one other horse, and that would be the 2 Rescue That Girl. This horse ran on a 36,000 maiden claimer at Pimlico, did
Yeah.
not lift the hoof and was fractious in the gate. And normally you'd say, who wants this horse? But this is such a weak field, 12-5 maiden, and I won't bet Hamilton Smith. I mean, the 4 you could bet, maybe the 5 can run, but the works look slow. I'm just not sold on that breeding. This is a German-bred horse, bred out of Canada. I just don't know anything about that breeding. So I'll let that horse beat me, and I'll move on with the 6 on both tickets.
So look, I got to tell you a short story. And that is, about 3 years ago, I was doing a show, and there was a trainer that was 0 for 30 with first-time starters, but was 36% to win. It was the top EquinEdge pick. And I was played a pick 5, and I was alive to a bunch of horses, but that horse. I guess I was trying to make a point, and that horse won.
I'll tell you another quick story to make me look like egg on my face. I'm the experienced handicapper. I took my friend Stephen Barber to the track one day, and they loved Kentucky Derby, the Triple Crown. That's all they played. But we went to Belmont one day, one of their first. They loved it. And, they're looking for me for horses. And they're like, why don't you like, they're both asking me, why don't you like the 3? The 3 is like 5-2. And we think we like the 3. I'm like, you just look at the 3's record. The horse is 1 for 35. This was a non-winner, it's a 2 lifetime. And I said, I'm going to go with the horse who's 1 for 12 or 1 for 14. Don't have many chances. That's what you normally do in a race like that. Well, they turned for home, and their horse that they liked, the 3 horse, romps by like 5 or 6 lengths. It was not even a close race. My friend Steve looks at me and he goes, 2 for 36 now. So there you go. You never know. It's horse race.
I will say this. This horse is probably going to go off at 5 or 6 to 1. It's 2 to 1 in the EquinEdge morning line, considering the connections, considering their record, and 44% to win. The only reason I like the 6 is because of that speed. But in light, everyone's going to use the 6. The horse is going to go off at probably 1 to 2. Maybe worth using the 1, considering, right? I mean, because you might even get 3 to 1 or 4 to 1. And if you lose to everybody else, 80% of the players that are using the 6 horse, who cares?
With that being said, maybe I'll use the 2 and say, hey, I'll get like $3 more if the horse comes in second rather than the 6 wins.
The problem with the 2, I will say this, it is 6 to 1 on the EE morning line. So it's not, I like that. It's 4% to win, and it's got a 35 GSR. I know this is a lower level. I'm never using a 35 GSR. Sorry. I'm just not doing it. I refuse.
You don't like those German breds, huh?
I just can't do a 35 GSR.
It's a reach. So for any horse players, listeners out there, using the 2 would be an absolute reach because of the breathing. I mean,
now what about the 5 horse? And I know we have to move fast, but the 5 horse is interesting. It's and then the 4 horse I don't like. It's just I can't see the 4. It's 6 to 1 on the EquinEdge morning line, but no, I would think like you either use the 6 and take the. What are you going to get if you use the 6 and the horse goes up 1 to 2, 3? You're going to get back like $5.
$5,
right?
Okay, I'm just using the 6 and moving on. I don't want to spend a lot of time on a 5 horse maiden 12-5 claimer at Laurel.
Okay, so you're going with the 6. I'm going to go with the 1.
Okay,
here we go. Race number 3.
And I'll make your side bet that the 2 beats your 1.
Okay, $5. Okay,
you got it.
Don't you owe me $1?
I think I owe you $1. Yes.
I think you owe me $1.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go double or nothing then.
Okay, sounds good.
But I'm going to expect a Zell, just so you know.
Okay, I will do that. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
Is there a minimum on the Zell, or I can send you $2?
You're going to have to pay the fee.
I got you. Right.
Okay, let's run.
Send you a check.
Okay, fair.
Check's in the mail.
Okay, overnight it though. It's going to cost you $5. Okay, I mean, look at this 10 to 1 on the odds makers morning line. Wow, this is now. I mean, first of all, this horse is going to go off as your favorite. I have no doubt about it. It's it looks, well, the 8's coming and has a good win percentage. The 3 looks like, okay, so the 8 horse ends up beating the 3, the 6 horse. Okay, but look, this is interesting. It's top pace, top win percentage, top SOR and EE long shot, and 7-2. Look at that, 7-2 on the EE morning line. On top of that, it's like 33% to win. Like, holy hell! I mean, there's a. It's going to take some catching to catch this 3 horse.
Okay, I'm really going to date myself now, Scotty. So there's going to be some listeners out there who's not going to understand this, right? So what you're saying is that Psychedelic Shack, that's where it's at? That's what you're trying to say.
You're referencing some punk rock now.
No, I'm referencing 70s disco.
Oh, disco?
Music. Psychedelic Shack, that's where it's at. I don't even remember who sings that song. But if Pete Fornatale,
I thought it was Devo. I thought you were. There's a. What's that song I'm thinking of?
Love Shack.
I got it in my head.
Love Shack.
Love Shack.
Yeah.
Love Shack. Yeah.
Right. So this is Psychedelic Shack. That's where it's at.
A little old place.
And Pete Fornatale could tell you who sang that song. Right.
Yeah, I know. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. What about a horse like the 5 horse? You see the surge indicator here. So we'll click on the horse is 9-2 on the EE morning line. And it's going from a 59 GSR to a 70, but it's going from 31%, which it lost and got third, down to 5% and going up. But I'm a huge fan of Andy Simoff's. Like, he is a really, really good trainer. I know this isn't really showing it, but Andy knows his stuff. This might be your sleeper right here. I'll tell you right now.
I know Secretary at War. I know this horse so well. I think I've been betting this horse for like 10 years. That's the first impression that I have. Then I looked at the horse. I'm like, that would make sense. The horse is 10 years old. This horse used to run a distance. They tried as a 3-year-old. I think this horse was real decent and was running in some stakes races. We go back like 100 years ago. It's just, to me, this horse was always a distance horse. I know this horse is, I don't know. This horse is down at the bottom at 4K claimed. I can't touch this horse at 5.5. I can't touch a 10-year-old. But you're right. I mean, is this a prep race for a longer race? I have no idea what the motivation here is. So with that, I'll pass. I would pass on the 5 personally. Okay.
Yeah, you're such a downer.
Sorry about that. You're looking for a price. I'm going to give you more chalk today, I guess.
Okay. So, by the way, Sylvain, I was watching you, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. I think you won the one of those tournaments, right? So you've qualified for the NHC, I believe, right? So I was rooting for you.
Yeah, I didn't want to mention that. I did see your name, Sylvain, up on the board, and I'm like, hey, that's a EquinEdge guy. And I was going to send you. I wasn't sure if you were on Twitter or not. Usually, when I see Horseplayers that I don't know, I'll send them a message, direct message on X now.
First time, way to go!
Great. And I think I saw your name up there, Sylvain, another time, and like it'll linger, looming in like 5th or 6th in the tournament. I was like 100th, and I'm like, geez, this guy's getting on. So keep on the roll.
That was really cool to see, by the way, too.
Yep.
And, it was really neat. So super, super happy for you. What's up, Chrissy?
Hey, Chrissy.
Okay. We only have like a few minutes. We
better get rolling. So let me give you my pick here.
We have 14 minutes to get in. Okay. So what do you got?
All right. So I liked Psychedelic Shack. I thought that's where it's at. Okay. However, I got too tempted by a lower priced horse, and that is the 6 Zipline to Heaven. I love Michael Trombetta at the Maryland circuit. Okay. I am concerned this horse doesn't have enough speed to win at 5.5. This looks like it may be a prep race. However, this horse has been exclusively sprinting. So, which leads me to believe that's the horse's game, obviously. And the thing that put me over the top is the layoff win last year in May of 23 at Pimlico at 5 furlongs. outside post, clothes got up off a similar layoff. So
Yeah.
it's all 6-3 for me. 6 on one ticket, Zip Line to Heaven. 3, Psychedelic Shack. That's where it's at. No Love Shack, Psychedelic Shack.
So okay.
Okay.
These are some really cool names. Zip Line to Heaven, Secretary at War, Bourbon Currency, Psychedelic Shack. I love it. Sue loves Barbados.
Barbados.
Okay. We got
Hey,
that.
if you know a Sue who loves Barbados, that's a great hunch play in the NHC. How can you go against it?
No, exactly. Look I haven't seen this too often, but at the first call, the 3 horses 4 lengths in front. Like, just now the 8's coming, but here's what happens. What I see that you don't consider, and that is, when a horse is that far back, usually the jockey's asking. So using the horse up a little bit to try to catch the horse, and once it gets to the top of the stretch, usually it'll peter out a little bit. I got to go with the 3 horse. I'm going with the 3. So you're going to go with the 6. I'm going with the 3. Okay, race number 4. Chrissy's got a seat as well.
Good. Congratulations.
I love all the EquinEdge community making it to the NHC.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, we ought to do a control, like something really cool, like planned party. I'll rent a room. Actually, I have a really good idea. Actually, I'm gonna plan on that. Actually,
I won't disclose my insider knowledge about your Vegas trip. So
thank you very much. Okay, I'll tell you what. So we need to build a list. Chris, if you're watching, Chris is really good at this stuff. We need to keep a list of all the people that want to join us, and we're gonna have just a really night of fun. We're gonna have a good time. Right.
I heard we're going to have a huge party in Scotty's rooftop suite there in the hotel that's not named the Horseshoe. That's the only thing I'll say.
That's right. It's going to be okay. It's going to be legendary. All right. We're going to plan on this. I have some stories, but it's probably not for this show. Okay.
No, it's probably not.
All right. Let's run this. Okay, Chris, we got to plan this. Chris is the planner. Chris is the one, he's the best. I swear, he loves this stuff though, and that's what makes it so great. And so does Oldie and Justin, and oh man, it's so good. It's so real. It's neat. Oh, by the way, if we are looking, and if you are interested, reach out to us, because we are looking for handicapping women. That we're looking to add a couple of women to our talent, our broadcasters and stuff like that. So if you think that's something you would want to do, then reach out. Chris, where can they reach out? Pages of notes from last night. There's some big stuff coming. Really cool stuff for the EquinEdge community coming. You guys are going to be excited. Tune in to the Stretch Run show tomorrow. Also, Chris, what was I'm supposed to? Oldie's going to get mad at me. What did he want me to talk about? There was something that I needed to share with everybody. I'll remember soon. It's something with the YouTube, right?
And I see Chris's comment, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's normally true, but unfortunately, Chris, what happened, I had to bring the $725,000 check home, so it didn't stay in Vegas. Thank God. I had to share it with my wife and family, so it didn't stay in Vegas, that's for sure.
So you can join our YouTube page, youtube.com/@EquinEdge, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, actually. And so I'll give you more. It's a membership. You can go on there to YouTube and check out and learn more about that. So Chris will be sending out more on that too, and Oldie as well. And maybe update me, Oldie, too, on how I can explain this even a little bit better. Okay. In race number 4, we have a horse to watch, top pace, top win percentage, top EE morning line, EE picks. I know that if you subscribe to this channel of ours, I'm trying to find your text, Oldie, that you sent me, and I cannot find it anywhere. Here it is. You sign up for $19.99 for a month, And all the net proceeds, because YouTube takes their cut, we're not taking a dime, will go to the naysavers.org. It's NEIGH savers.org, Thoroughbred Aftercare. Okay. And what you're going to get is you're going to get access to every simulated race for Belmont Stakes Day on the Saratoga card. That's what you're going to get for $19.99. Okay. If you want to learn more, you can inquire with Chris and Oldie. All right. I did my part. We got a fast horse here in the 2, but there does seem to be some other speed in here with the 5. If the 5 presses the 2 from the outside and 5 breaks on top, they both are going to be forwardly placed horses, and the 2 draws a little bit poorly on the inside. Does go up in win percentage, but to me, a horse like this, the win percentage doesn't matter because this is a type of need the lead type of horse, but so is the 5. And so these 2 could duel themselves into submission. The only thing I will say is, I mean, the simulation has these horses going gate to wire, but here comes the 3 horse, Akur.
Yeah, Scotty, I have to admit, this race I really struggled with, and I thought this was so wide open. There's 4 or 5 horses that could win. They've raced against each other a number of times, and the one thing is, it looked like the 2 to me was the lone speed, but that was off a layoff. It's hard for me to support a horse who's morning line even money that just comes off a wire win, beat Addie's Laddie TNT the last time. It seemed like a slow pace to me, that race. So I probably, at the odds, I'd probably pass on the 2. I'm looking for some kind of value here because I think it's that wide open. I think the 3 could easily win, the 5, the 7. And then I'm looking and like, I think I'm going to give a shot with the 4. So I settled on the 4, order off the kettle. I'm always, I'm a sucker for Constitution horses. So this horse is a drop down. This horse drops down to the bottom, 12.5, racing a $30,000 claimer. Throw out the sloppy track race, I hope. I'm concerned about the 6% trainer, but this horse did win on April 5th over Laurel, 5.5 furlongs at 16-1. So that's good enough for me. Did close, so I'm hoping that they're going to get some kind of contested pace. There'll be a few horses, maybe the 3 will chase. I don't know. I just struggle, like I said, so I'm looking for some value. I'm going to go 4 over 3 here. Order of the kettle over Aqua.
What I see in this horse, and I don't like the pattern of races, and that is this. You have a horse that gets 3rd by 5 1/4 lengths back on March 24th. And then for non-winners of 2, other than maiden, claiming, or starter, and then they put this horse up in an allowance race and they win. Then they go over and go, hey, they're going to push their luck, and they're going to go, okay, now we're going to put this horse in an optional claimer. And and that was much tougher. And then bam. Then what they do is they go over in a non-winners of 3 lifetime, which is probably where they should have gone. And then the horse runs like hell. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think what happened is they claimed this horse for $20,000, and Brittany Russell, and they ran this horse right back with Brittany Russell's training. And all of a sudden now you've got a 6% trainer. I just don't think the horse is any good.
You could be right, my friend. The one thing I will point out, the race on April 5th was, I believe that's a restricted allowance. That's a Maryland state bred race.
For sure.
So in open company now, there's a step up. So that 30,000 and optional 40 claimers is probably a step up because this open company, that was a Maryland bred race most likely. So the horse could be nothing, but I'm taking the chance back on a drop down that at 12.5 that this horse could be in a good spot. I'm just looking for a stranger here. This horse hasn't run against these other horses before.
So this is what we're going to do. Watch this. So this is a new feature that's coming out. It's called our link feature, Handy View Plus. It won't be for probably 3 or 4 months, but we're going to take a look at this 5-9 race for that Red Paisley was in. Addie's TNT was in, and I think there was one other horse. So let's take a look at this. Watch.
Heads or Tails, I believe, was in that race too, the 7, right?
Addie's, no, Accor was in that race as well.
Accor, right.
Now, let's run the simulation first. Okay, first call. You can see it has Aristocratic getting the lead and was dueling, but Red Paisley was so fast, Red Paisley got the lead. But let's why don't we watch this last race? So we're looking at the 1, 2, and 6.
Morning thoughts. Here, Smooth Rico just a beat slow to begin. Brad Paisley out of the gate, right to the lead.
So Paisley got the lead.
To the punch and takes the lead immediately.
And the one horse really has no speed.
Up into third.
Addie's Lady TNT, who's in this current race.
Morning thoughts out 3 deep down the backstretch run. Captain Cardo's not far from the front, only 4.5.
Pretty tactical.
Speed in behind the flight of runners, and Accor is the trailer into the turn, where it's Brad Paisley pressed along now by Aristocratic. Brad Paisley a neck in front from Aristocratic. Two back. Addie's Lady TNT is in third. And Morning
Brad Paisley looks okay here, David.
Captain Cardo has to pick up as in between.
Oh yeah, and based on that trainer, this horse is likely going wire again. But I just can't. I can't do it. I can't take the even money.
Brad Paisley with a widening lead, 3.5 lengths from Aristocratic in second.
It's can they put these back to back? That's the thing.
Exactly. Off a layoff, is this horse going to run exactly like that? And I think because it's 3 horses who've been in the race, racing against each other, the jocks should know, okay, well, we're not going to let this horse get away today. I'm hoping, and there'll be a little bit of a more contested pace, and we'll hopefully get a better price.
So, okay, so it looks to me like that, I will take that Addie's Lady TNT. It looks like that horse can rate a little bit, sat back, and maybe Brad Paisley's not going to be able to put it back to back, but nobody else was really coming in that race. Accor really wasn't coming. I think Accor is going to finish not as good. I'm going to take a chance on the 5 horse. So you're going to go with the 4?
I'm going with the 4-3. 4-3. And Scotty, we have 1 minute before it begins, yep. So we got to.
Okay, so we got to go to Gulfstream Park. We're just going to run these really quickly. You got to have your plays in. And have you looked at this race? Do you have an opinion?
Yes. I love the 2 Lagio going wire to wire. Like I said, 5 furlong sprints and the Tapeta. I've been beaten so many times by the speed of the speed.
Oh, 2 scratched. 2 scratched.
Elagio's out?
Yep. I'm going to take the horse to watch the 1.
Hold on a second. It must be a late scratch.
It looks like it.
No, because I have it in on my feeder, and it's not showing scratch.
It's not showing scratched?
Not yet.
Let's see here. It must be a late scratch.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Then I guess I'd go with my backup, Princess Miss Emil.
It is scratched.
It is scratched.
Yeah.
Let's scratch that, because then I didn't look at another. I just thought this was just such a lock. I didn't even look at a second horse.
Oh, we're looking at race number 2. I'm sorry. No,
race 2.
I had the wrong race. Okay. So okay, 2 horse. You like that horse a lot?
Yes, going wire to wire.
Okay, my bad. Sorry. Thanks, Oldie. David likes the 2 horse a lot. And then, 3-2. I'm going to take the 2 as well.
Okay. Then if you want to go to the 3rd at Gulfstream, I'm going to just use the 6. I'm a Peppa, just based on the drop down from 16 to 8 with Dan Hertog's barn.
Okay. And then looks like a drop in class.
Big drop.
They're at the gate over at Laurel, so you have to have in your plays. Let's see, finishing. I'm gonna take the 2 horse.
You're going with the
I'm going to go with the 2.
LD Josie. I don't even know if I pronounced that right.
LD Joshu. Or
Joshu. LD Joshu.
Joshu. Okay, let's get out to Laurel Park. They're going into the gate. Let's remind everybody what it is you are using and I'm using. You like the 1-3. I like the 1-3 as well. So the 1-horse Major Helen are going on the turf. The rail is 87 feet out. It's nuts. And you're going to most likely see somebody that's near the pace. The 3-horse is good value at 7-1 right now. And 15%. Again, if we run the race, it's got the 1. And the 9-horse is coming on as well. And this horse is 7-1. Yeah, I think an exact 1/3.9 would be a pretty good play. That might pay pretty good money.
Don't wager too much on it with your ADW. I already put that in.
Okay, hold on here. You did it already. And maybe a trifecta 1/3.9.
You're reading my mind.
Now I know why people don't share their plays with me.
5,2.
I think the last time I did that, the $80 exacta went down to 47. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to give Scotty those exactas anymore.
Come on, be nice. Would you do a cover? I mean, like maybe with the 3 and the 9, and maybe do a cover bet a little bit less, just to stay in the game, get your money back by doing a 3-9 with a 1.
Yeah, I play around. I'm always looking for some kind of value.
Molly of Stratford. Waiting for.
Okay.
5,2.
Let's extend this out. All right, here we go.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Now, Major Houlihan. And they're off.
Jason, race 1 at Laurel is for the feeder.
Stratford has for early speed.
And GP,
Major Houlihan is right there to make
race 2,
across
not
the
race
course
1,
to that first turn run. Latasha
so
settled in.
You got to like this start with the 1, right?
Alongside of that is Believe in Freedom
Racing. Right between 2 speeds.
And the race simulator had the 8 in second.
5,2.
Or no, it had the 10 in second, I believe. So the 10 is the 1. 10 ends up drifting up to 5-1.
First turn they roll, and it's Major Houlihan, a half length in front from Molly of Stratford on the outside, pressing the issue from second.
The 10 is not relaxed whatsoever. You see that, Dave?
Third. Latasha's next. Believe in
It's
Freedom
hard to
still
sustain
alongside
that.
runner.
The jockey would have been better off just sending that horse. I don't want him to, but he'd have been better off. Now here comes the 8, putting some pressure on the 1.
And Milrose has to pick it up from last position. 8 lengths will cover them heading into the far turn. The pace has been honest. It's Major Houlihan, Mama's Lino there on the outside.
You know who's sitting sharp right now behind these 2 dueling, right?
Tosh has a rail between
this better be over 47. 40. Yeah, I think it's too fast for these horses.
Run to go.
6 is loaded.
Mama's Lino punching ahead in front from Major Houlihan down to the inside, followed by Latosh. Here's Catch the Kitten. Catch the Kitten suddenly looking good with a quarter of a mile to go. The angle to the outside spins off the rail under Gomez. Into the stretch now, and it's Mama's Lino. Major Houlihan. Catch the Kitten on the outside. Latosh battles it between horses. 4 chances.
7-1
too. A furlong left to go. And here comes
that was our second pick. And you know what?
Catch the Kitten.
When you consider the odds, David, honestly, like that's probably the horse that has to be used,
trying to hang in second, and Latosh third, and Major Houlihan fourth. Catch the Kitten.
Yeah. Now, in our defense too, well, I mean, we like the 3, but you don't know that the race is going to play out where they're going to duel like that as well.
Yeah, I was surprised, even though Major Houlihan has shown this horse likes to be close to the pace. With those other 2 speeds, I thought this horse would definitely rate. So,
right.
But yeah, the concern I had at the beginning of the race, handicapping, it was the horses that don't have experience at the distance. So one of the horses that did have experience at the distance was the 3, Catch the Kitten. And I thought it was Catch the Kitchen. It's right. So Catch the Kitten. And I did mention that horse numerous times, but now, I didn't have it on top. So, and again, sometimes when you're looking in these contests, you like 2 horses, just go with the price.
Go with the price. You're 100% right. That's what I'm saying. We made a mistake there.
Yeah.
And that is, you like two horses, no matter what, just take the price. That's the EquinEdge long shot that won that race over the 8 horse, who the simulator liked a little bit too. I mean, showed that horse had some speed. Let's see. First call. The 10 was right there. The jockey could have had the lead if he wanted it. And yeah, 3 is the EquinEdge long shot. Okay, we'll watch these feeder races, but we need to get to the tournament play for the qualifier. Let's see here for the NHC qualifier. Okay, so my entries. So I've got 2 entries I got to put plays in for, and I'm going to need some help too because I struggle. There's going to be 10 plays. And let's get out to the first one is Gulfstream Park race number 5. I'm going to need your help. I'm counting on you today because I need to try to maintain my lead on the tour.
Okay, well, sure. If you want to take my picks, we'll tie for first, and you'll get your second seat, and I'll get my second seat also. So,
okay.
I thought I had a pretty good handle on the races today, and just before we begin. It looks a little chalky to me, but that doesn't preclude me from picking some crazy long shot or crazy horse, and I will always have one of those. But I have to tell you, Scotty, the last 2 shows we did, I had some regrets, and the regrets were I'm not going with big enough prices. I saw these horses coming in, and I'm like, geez, why? You got to remember, sometimes things looks obvious on paper, but this is a contest. You're looking for value, okay?
Well, not only that, you don't know how the race is going to play out. So if I will tell you this, every single time, and we made the mistake right here, but every single time that you like 2 horses, you take the higher of the prices. Period.
You should have reminded me that before the race.
I forgot. Hey, Buffalo Mike had the kitchen as well, by the way. So
yes.
did
and again, that was one of my plays, but. I will have to tell you, sometimes I look at these shows, not the same way I do the NHC. If this was the NHC, there's a very good likelihood I would have taken the 3 or the 9. A very good likelihood.
Yeah.
But I think I may have even still taken the 9 over the 3 because of the win at the distance. I was afraid of the layoff. But yeah, this horse was definitely a contender. But sometimes you look 7-1, and I've changed my plays and saying, hey, at 7-1, this is the play. At 9-2, the horse might not have been the play, but at 7-1, this horse was the obvious play.
So Oldie's playing in the Hawthorne feeder, and nobody had that 3 horse. That's just insane. Speaking of 3 horse, Mama Maria is scratched.
Yes.
In this race number 5.
Actually, Mama Mia is one of my favorite restaurants in Saratoga. And so I'll be going to Mama Mia's next weekend, and I'm looking for. I better make reservations now because I'm going to get shut out because
you better.
I hear a lot of guys talking about it on a big show that's where they're going. So
yeah.
So if anybody's listening, if you're with Big, just put in an extra reservation. If you have a big table, put a seat in for me.
Let me ask you a question. Like I don't know anybody at Saratoga really. Like do I have accommodations? I mean, you're like a big time person over there, back in New York, and
I used to live there for 10 years. So
yeah, but you're in with the it crowd. I'm just wondering, like, do I have any accommodations if I go out there?
You can sleep in my hotel floor if. Hey, I'm sure that there'd be somebody from First Bet who has a place out there somewhere that. But no, and unfortunately, people, for any horse clubs who want to go out there, don't have reservations. I had a problem. I heard a rumor back in December that this Belmont was 100% going to be run at Saratoga. So just for shits and can I say shits and grins? Well, I just said.
You can.
Just for that, I went online right before Christmas to look for hotel, and I couldn't believe the prices at these hotels, and a lot of them were already sold out. And I'm like, well, the Belmont is going to be there. and I couldn't find a room. I had to go into 30 miles south of Saratoga Springs to get a decent room. I'm not paying $900 a night. I know I'm an NHC champ, but for that $900 a night, that's $1,800 that I could be investing in a tournament. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So it's very challenging now to get a hotel. No.
Okay, let's pump through this. Let's
Yes.
do this. Race number 5 here. I struggled with this race. I really did. I don't have a clue. I mean, the 6 horse, probably the horse to beat, Safi Joseph and Zayas. They won a race yesterday. But I mean, this horse's form is too bad to be believed. And now we're supposed to just throw down on this horse. I listen, I need, you got to give me some drinks first and, warm me up a little bit. I'm just, I'm not that easy.
Yeah, that's what I've heard through the grapevine. But I do like a horse here, Scotty. I'm not using the 6. I've actually, before the late scratch, I was all over. Can I say that? Is that inappropriate? I was all over Mama Maria. With that being said, Mama Maria's scratched, so I can't be all over.
Well, there might be something to that then.
So I am now all over Miss Ukraine. Instead, she seems like a good alternative. You have 2 choices. Your first one leaves and you get the second one. The reason I like Miss Ukraine is I think now with the scratch of the 3, there's not a lot of spirit. I think this horse from the rail's only chance is for her to go out and gun. I do like the race back on March 13th at Gulfstream, 7 furlongs, 16,000, non-winners of 2. Even money, I know, and it looked like it was a slow pace. There's no other. This horse laid right off the speed, but also ran 2 races ago at 25,000, beating claimers, and won at 7 at 12, almost 13 to 1. So this horse is recently has been in better form. Raced against Mama Maria and finished a 4th to Mama in the last race. I think this horse is eligible to gun from the rail and lead these horses on a merit chase. So it's 160.
We have a super impressive race on March 13th, then a poor performance, then a super impressive race on April 20th, and then a poor performance. I watched the race replay on May 12th. Maybe a good performance is coming. These types of horses are very tough because who's going to show up? I don't know.
Right. So, I mean, my other alternative is, you could look at, I guess, Keith DeSormo's now trying a trial run at Gulfstream. So, I mean, that's the other horse. I'm not sure I really like the 6 off that drop down, and this horse just had been off form. So I guess it would be, I was going to originally say 1-6. I'm going to go with a 1-2 here. So Miss Ukraine over La Marada.
The great director is hoping that you have a lock today. We're going to find a lock for sure. By the way, Eric's saying in the 9th at Gulfstream, there's a horse that's name is My Wife Knows It All. How can that horse lose? In fact, there's a very famous call, and I believe it's with Frank Miramani, and was at Monmouth Park. If you go online and look, I want to say it was My Wife Knows It All, and then the other horse was named as My Wife Knows Nothing.
Yes, exactly. And I was watching that. I was watching that race live, and it was Larry Colmus, by the way.
Was it Larry Colmus?
It was a classic because I have to tell you that exacta, and you can predict what I'm going to say next. That exacta was totally, under, what an underlay that exacta was, right? Because you got a lot of people hunch playing it, and that was a classic call. It was just hilarious.
What was great was those horses came in 1st and 2nd.
Yes.
So all the way down the stretch,
It was a stretch
My Wife
duel.
Knows It All. My Wife Knows Nothing. My Wife Knows It
It's
All.
like a head duel back and forth, like a head bob for like the 16th of a mile. It was like priceless.
It was so great.
And normally I'm not a big fan of track. I'm a fan of track announcers who get directly to the point, don't make it about themselves, because listen, the track announcer could get excited at a horse that you just, like a horse that just won, but you had the second horse who missed by a nose. Yeah. So, but there's some guys that was priceless. That was a spot for it. Right?
It was.
You know,
Yeah, and
so
what are the odds of that? But it was just a fantastic call. We would show you this. We would love to show that on the show, but for rights of copyright infringement, we can't. So, but go to YouTube and go check that out. And I don't know what you would put in the search bar, but it would, it was a great, amazing.
Larry Colmus, the White Horses call, and then that'll pop right up because I have watched it before. But as a matter of fact, great director is referring to a race about 2 Saturdays ago at Aqueduct. Is a Phil Serpy horse who oh no, it wasn't. It was at Pimlico. It was at Pimlico. It was my Triple Crown, my Belmont horse was not going to run in the Belmont. It was I don't remember the name of the horse, but yeah, I was saying it's a lock. It's a single on all my verticals, and I love this horse at 8-5. Forget it. You don't look at any other horses. And the horse had a bad trip, and I'm like, this horse not going to win. Well, got up in the last couple strides, but then kind of hung a bit, and it got nosed in a photo, and it just barely won, and that had to survive an inquiry. And I'm like, that's not how your lock of the day should do it. And I did survive.
You survived, though. Okay, that's all that matters.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know who's going to show up here. The 6 horse doesn't look good. So, for those reasons, I'm just using the 5. That's it.
Double Cosmo Girl.
Yeah, initially I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was struggling with this race, but there's a high likelihood the 1 doesn't run. There's a high likelihood the 6 doesn't run. So you know what? I think the 5 is the most consistent horse of them that we can probably count on to run a good race, first, second, or third. So,
and Scotty, I think that's a good exacta, but because I did hear that Miss Ukraine, she's definitely a double Cosmo girl.
A double Cosmo, okay.
Actually, and then you better watch out if she has a triple Cosmo because
those ones are too much work. We don't want those. Yeah. Okay. So okay, that's the first one of 10 for the NHC qualifier. And there'll be 2 people that will qualify for the NHC after the last race, which happens to be Santa Anita race number 8. There's how many races? 6, race 6, 7, and 8 finish off this qualifier. Okay. The next race is race number 6 from Gulfstream Park, so we don't have to go too far. Let's see here.
You're going to run a simulator, Scotty. I'd be curious to see what the pace is here.
Okay,
where this 10 is going to be as far as.
Let's see.
Yeah, they have her further back than I thought she would be.
Yeah, and could get carried out wide if the horse does try to show some speed. Could get carried out a little bit wide. 4-9-8, and the 4 horse is the horse to watch as well. So it's the top win and top EE pick. Those horses win 26% of the time. This horse is 30% to win. It looks like the 9's going to go off as the favorite as well. So what are your thoughts?
Well, this is a race, Scotty, that I'm throwing out the favorite. I think the favorite, Crystal Coast. You're talking about Bob DeBona's barn. They're on fire, 38% at this meet. With Zayas, I mean, yeah, 9-5 makes sense. But again, I'm going back to the premise and the strategy. You like 2 horses, go with the longer price horse. And that horse for me is the 10 Boston Princess. They've raced together the last race. Boston Princess was 13-1, ran 8th, 7 lengths behind of Crystal. Well, a couple of lengths behind Crystal Coast, who only finished 5th. So 1 horse finished 5th, 1 horse finished 8th. This is back to Tapeta, right? So this horse, Boston Princess, has won over Tapeta twice in the last 6 months, both in December. I don't mind the outside post on Tapeta going 2 turns. I'm looking for a little bit of a price. And so I settled on the 10. And I think there'll be enough speed for this horse. I know the 1 should be close to the pace, right? The 7's got speed. The 4's got speed. The 9 has positional speed. So I don't have any problem, like I said, with that outside post. I'm just concerned that she may have to come from too far back. So I'm hoping Ferrer can keep her a little closer. So it's all the 10 for me. And with my second choice, I guess I would go with the 9. So 10-9 for me.
Okay. 10-9 for you. I'm struggling with this race a little bit. Like, there seems to be a lot of speed. I will say this too, and we've talked about this, but what I see with these synthetic races going long at Gulfstream Park is most horses come from behind. So you could be onto something with that horse. The 9 horse, I don't love the 9, but also horses that can get the lead early sometimes. But the 4 is not going to be on the lead early, but the 4 can rate some. And this horse is pretty consistent at all. For Elizabeth Douglas, pretty consistent on all surfaces. So I don't have a problem with the surface. I'd like to see if there's no workouts. Obviously, these conditioned horses, they're on the track every day pretty much. So I don't think that's really a matter. I will say this. I don't know that this horse is at its best coming from too far back. And there does seem to be some speed. I'm starting to lean really kind of towards your 10 horse, to be honest with you.
Okay. Yeah, I did take a good long look at the 4. This horse is a Kentucky bred, so it's been racing, even though it's racing at a lower claiming level. The 9 and 10 are Florida bred, so they're racing in these conditioned claimers. So, yeah, and the 4 is in good. She's in good form, right? The last 4 races. But I think she may. I'm just taking a guess. She may be a little cheaper than these, and the speed that's going to press her if she wants to be closer to the pace. So I'm looking for a closer here. So,
and if you like the 9, the 10 beat the 9 last time out, right? I think. Let's see here. No, the 9 beat on the turf. Though that was on the turf, though.
On the turf, right? So the last time, well, actually, the 10 did beat the 9. Back on December 29th at 1.70 miles. Yep. And the 10, let's see, the 9 had the 1 post that day. And December 29th, the 10 had the 2 post. So there's really no difference in post. But at 4.5, almost 5-1, this filly got up. So
you were talking about this 9 horse. We were talking about that. DeBona, you were saying, was really hot. 31% first off the claim. But the horse did not run very good first off the claim. Didn't seem to really have any issues. Left lead issues. And then second off the claim, DeBona's only 16%. I would have thought this horse would have fired first off the claim. The fact that it didn't, and now it's facing easier, I think that horse might be a horse you want to try to beat.
Right. And if you look at the comparison from the 9 to the 10, based on all their starts, I mean, the 9 has 40 starts, the 10 has 24. To me, they seem about the same ability. They're just almost equally as fast. So when that's the case, I'm always going to go with the better price.
Well, and you can see too, when you look at the 10 horse, it's earned the most money of its 120,000 on the synthetic. Now, the 4 horse does have a pretty darn good record. 4 wins, 5 seconds, and 4 thirds in 16 tries. What was the reason why you weren't choosing this horse?
I think this 4 is going to be pressed by the 1 and the 7. And I think that, like I said, I think it may be a little bit of a aggressive pace. So I'm looking for a little bit of a meltdown. And to me, that would definitely favor the 10.
Most of the really, the top jockeys are not at Gulfstream Park this time of year. So what I've been seeing, the jockeys really that have been winning the most and getting the best mounts have been Vasquez, Zayas, and Reyes, believe it or not. And Reyes is on this 4 horse.
Right. And Jaramillo.
Jaramillo as well. Yeah.
He's not in this race, right?
No, he's not in this race. So Reyes is in here, and you got Zayas. I'm going to try to beat the 9 for sure, although it's 4-5 on the EquinEdge morning line. The 1 horse just seems to be part of the speed. there's going to be so much speed in here, and that's like I'm going to count. And then already horses usually come from behind that win these synthetic races going long. That leads me to Kathleen O'Connell's She Fled the Scene, the 8. I mean, this horse is going to get this pace. Only 5 wins, though, in 52 lifetime races.
Mm-hmm. Much better. You're probably more likely to get a place out of this. But again, it is one of my angles. Third time off a layoff. My concern, and I think we discussed this last week, was Kathleen O'Connell, 1 for 38 at the meet, 3%, which is typically not like her. She had a good Tampa meet this winter and spring, but for some reason she's not firing, and this horse is 0 for 10 on the synthetic, so that's why I lean to the 10 over the 8.
So over at Churchill Downs, race number 1, the 5 horse won. There was all first time starters except 1 horse, and if you look, and this is with first time starters, our EquinEdge picks here. I'll show you this. Our EquinEdge picks had it cold. Like look at the win percentages, because you're not just looking at one metric. So if we sort the GSR, you can see the 5 and the 6 had, the top and the second, third top, but the 1 horse had a good GSR. And then if you look at the win percentages, it's all 5, 6, 43% to 31%. And then if you look at the E Morning Line, the E Morning Line actually really liked the 4 horse who didn't run a lick in the race, but the win percentages and the picks certainly had the 5 and the 6. And that exact, for $2, it paid $11.94. Not a bad trifecta at $25.15 for 50 cents. And you know what I often say too? Thank you so much, Director. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
like a bootleg EE coffee mug. Yeah, send me one, would you please?
Make that 2 and send me one. You can find me on Webster, New York. On my
we're actually, it was part of our meeting yesterday. We're actually we're working with creating some swag right now. So and then the gold was a horse to watch as well. Why don't I see that there? But anyways, but it's pretty neat to see all the merchandise going to be coming soon. Okay, yeah, there's oldie. But anyways, the point is, I remember. This was my point. I remember when we first created the site, and people were like, "You can't give a win percentage to first time starters." I mean, we're way beyond that now, right? If you think about it, right? I mean, we're doing a simulated race for first time starters. Let's actually run this thing. Pretty amazing. These are first time starters. We're giving picks, we're giving win percentage, we're giving morning lines on first time starters. I mean, if you think about the technology that, by the way, EquinEdge started, it's pretty incredible, because I think we can all agree that most of us hated maiden races with first time starters, because we had no idea. That's coming from an old school guy. But you can see here, it had the 5 winning over the 6, and that's exactly how it finished. Pretty amazing. All right. Back to business.
Back to business.
All right. So you're on the 10. I'm stalling because I'm kind of, I'm putting in my picks for the NHC, and I'm struggling in here. I like to look to see what horses have done, to see, okay, are they, do they have excuses? So because I like to put a story in my head together, at least like the last 5 or 6 races. So if you look, this horse against a tougher group, 19% win at the time, same GSR, barely got up and won, but it was tougher. So then goes on turf, but the GSR drops 10 points. So I'm going to forgive this. Then in this race, the horse just spit the bit. Did not run an absolute lick on March 13th. Lost by 20 lengths, didn't run good. Then faces similar, is 8% to win, and loses by 2 1/4 lengths, but there was only 4 other horses. And then similar level, 7% to win, doesn't run very good. Now goes up 14% from last race, back up to a GSR of 59 and down 50. So because what I'm saying is look at the 56 SOR, David, and then today's a 50 SOR. So that tells you the level of competition. So essentially the 10 horse, all the categories are what you want to see. Up in win percentage, up in GSR, and down in SOR. So I think I'm gonna use the 10 with you.
Right. And again, I will acknowledge the race on March 13th is definitely concerning. That's the filly's worst race. This mare's worst race in ever. And there's no trouble line. But at least the good thing is this horse is back now. And May 5th, she got off slow. So there's an excuse right there. So I think maybe this horse just had a bad day, or just, they can't tell you if they're not feeling well one day, but that was by far its worst race. And then it kind of bounced back on that synthetic. Not a bad race running fourth there.
No, and if you're wondering about this is the horse to beat, no question about it. But if you're wondering about the 4, you're seeing it faced a 54 group last time out. Today's a 50. So it's facing easier. The win percentage goes up from 6% to 30%. So that's really, really good. The negative is it's dropping 9 points in GSR. Now, look at this here. It had a 67 on the GSR here on 118 and won easily. And then it dropped down to a 56 and it won that race. Now, it barely to hang on. So it is dropped. It barely won last time out. The win percentage goes up. I'm just saying there's some conflicting information in here, but the horse's form is super, super good. This horse is probably going to go off as the favorite. The 9, one of those 2 horses will go off as the favorite. I don't think it's worth you. There's questions on both of them. I don't think it's worth using those horses. So I guess we have to use the 10. But I also
you're leaning to the 8, all right?
The 8's interesting, but it's hard to play a horse that has 5 wins in 52 races. But I think the horse is certainly interesting. But it's dropping in GSR as well, so that's not a positive. Do you know, we're talking pretty negative about every horse. This is where you get big prices. This is where the big horse that goes off at 20 to 1, 30 to 1 wins the race every time.
Well, I will tell you this, Scotty. Back on, let's see, March 16th, 2024. Do you recall where you were?
March 16th, yes.
Okay. Well, I had Barbara that day looking for a long shot. And because I knew this horse had some back form and had won a couple races on synthetic. So I'm throwing out a bomb there in one of my optional plays at 63 to 1.
Yeah.
And the horse came up and rallied for second. At one point, I thought this horse made her move, and I thought she had a chance to win. She was flying. But, you're looking back, sometimes you get married to these horses. I just think this horse is moving, stepping up. And I just think this horse is, they're looking grasping at straws here. But if Barbara pops up and wins this race at 40 to 1, I'm going to be shaking my head.
Okay, look, when we're looking at the simulated race and you're looking at the stretch and then to the finish here, I mean, the 8 horse is, look at this. I mean, it's right there. Like, there is so much speed in this race. And the 4 style is to be near the pace. Somebody's coming from behind. And so if you throw out the 4 and then you're suspect about the 9 like I am, there's what the race looks like. Let's say if you're pretending the 4 and 9 are not in here, it's the 8 and the 10.
Okay.
And look at the 2. The 2 is about a length and a quarter behind. Length and 3/8. So I don't know. Like, first of all, where's the odds maker giving the 8 horse 6 to 1 on the morning line? Come on. I never would have made this horse 6 to 1. That's a bad morning line.
What would you surmise that your morning line would be?
Where in these past performances that you can see, and a horse winning 5 races and 52 races, and you look at the last 6 races, 7 races, that you could get 6 to 1 on this horse as a morning line? Where?
I know, but if you look, this horse, besides her last race, she's going up at 7 to 1, 2.5 to 1, 13 to 1, 5, 8, 4, 5, 5-2, and 8-5.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very rarely critical of a morning line because it's just such a hard job. But I would never have seen that.
Oh yeah.
14-1 shot just won at Gulfstream. I really wanted to actually watch that race, but it looks like the 6-horse Kieran. The simulated race really liked the 1, and evidently the 1 didn't run. So that's gonna, okay, well, it's a first-time starter. Well, there you go.
Right. Was that wire to wire, or we don't? Was anybody watching it?
We didn't watch it.
Yeah.
6-4-1. So the 4 got bet. So already we're looking at prices. The horse clearly has some really nice works. If you look at this 6, I mean, it's from Bruno, 2 3-star works in a row. Those are pretty good, but they were on the synthetic. But I will say this, and I think it's a good teaching moment. What I have seen in situations like this, if a horse is working like this in synthetic, and then you go to the GSR Plus grid and you see these tabs, 52 for synthetic, 52 for turf, and then 59 for dirt. If it's doing this on the synthetic and it's more bred for dirt, it might be able to run. So just for future, you might want to look at something like that.
Exactly.
Okay. So, but based on those workouts, not bad. I don't think you could have found that on the win percentages. 15-1 on the EE morning line. The GSR wasn't bad at 52. And Munoz is 10%. So he's won 2 races in 20, now 3 races in 21 in the last couple of years with first-time starters. So Lord Nelson was clearly a late-running sprinter. Remember, I love that Bob Baffert horse, Lord Nelson.
Scotty, yeah, I did like Lord Nelson also. They're loading in the gate for race 2 at Laurel.
Race 2 at Laurel. Okay, good. Thank you for that. All right, let's watch it. Who do we need? Remind me.
The 6, who's got the lead. Super Needy at 4-5, and we also have a side bet that my 2 is going to finish your 1. That doesn't look so good right now.
Your 2's already really struggling. My 1 is just cruising right now.
That's okay. The 2's the big closer.
When you say big closer,
it's a huge closer. There you go.
I'll tell you what, the 1 is. I can't tell. I think the 1's struggling a little bit. 2 of those going in reverse right now.
Yes,
I don't know.
If they roll around again, that horse might get lapped. The other 1's got some run.
One's got some run.
Oop.
I picked come on, the 6 is.
Oh, he's coming in. That's race riding. That's race riding.
Where's my 1?
He got discouraged after the 6 cut him off. They might get beat
it was wrong.
by the 4.
4's right there, but I don't know. Oh, that's going to be really close to the wire.
Held up. Just what you want to have at 4-5. You're just sweating out of it. But by the second choice of the horse I ran second, so got no value there.
But look what happens. You have a horse 4-5. How many 4-5s do you need to just catch up to a person that had the 14-1?
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the gist of it. Like you if you're going to use a favorite, you cannot afford to get beat by a long shot. So
correct.
That's why there's a lot of strategy involved in this. And that's why it's just almost never wise, unless you are 100% sure that it's a free square, almost never wise to use a favorite.
Correct.
All right. Let's see here. Let's refresh that real quick. And okay. So we left off on race number 6. We said, look, we're going to try to beat the 4 and the 9. I can't look at either the 4 or 9 and say it's a free square. So why would I use either one of those? That makes no sense. So the 10 horse is probably going to go off at 7-2 to 5-1. The 8 horse is an interesting long shot who will probably go off at 10 or 15-1. This horse seems to keep on getting over bet, but never get there, like you said. Most likely for a minor spot. Does have 14 second place finishes and 10 thirds. I mean, this horse is closing, and there is going to be a lot of speed, to be fair. I mean,
Right.
is this the day this horse gets there?
Correct, and a 10 may be compromised by that outside. Might get a wider trip, right? So that if the the 8 sits a better trip, she might save more ground. Yeah, definitely a playable horse. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, no, I don't. The thing is, the 8's so slow. The 10 is faster than the 8, so I think the 10 can get positioned.
First run. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that all being said, I think we have to really. This horse was off slow in that last race. The GSR was lower. The horse has earned 50,000 in 11 tries on the turf, but was off slow. This is an easier group for this horse. The horse did not break good last time out. The race before that only lost by 2 1/4 lengths against better, with issues, by the way, weighted. I'm going with the 10. I'm with you. I think that's it. We got to call it a day on this race. I'm going with the 10. I'm going to go with the 10-8.
Who was my second choice? I was on the 10. Did I select? I'm going to go with the 10-8 also.
Yeah. 10-8.
I'm just going with closers. Yep.
And what did we settle in on? What did I settle? Oh, I settled in on the 5 horse in the first leg. In
race 5, you settled on the 5. I settled on the 1 Miss Ukraine. So I'm 1-2 in that race. Oh, I'm sorry, 1-5. I'm 1-5. Scratch that. 1-5 in the 5th.
Okay, so you're doing 1-5 in the 5th,
right?
And I'm doing 5-1 on both of my entries, and then I'm doing 10-8 on both of my entries. It might not be a bad idea to use the 8 in the first spot as well. If you're playing 2 entries, not a bad idea. I'm going to take a risk and just do the 10. But okay, Laurel Park, race number 7.
Laurel Park, race number 7. Okay, if we run that simulator, because I got a wise guy horse here, I think.
All right, we're going to go just to break it up a little bit. We're going to go to Woodbine after this, and they're 2 minutes to the gate. They're always prompt. Okay, let's run the simulator, and then you tell us who your wise guy horse is. And can you explain to the audience that don't know what a wise guy horse is? What is a wise guy horse, anyways? Well,
it's a horse at decent odds that we all think we're wise guys. We're looking for an angle that nobody else has got, but it's then we realized when you look at the first flash when the 7th race comes on the board, that your wise guy horse is now the favorite. That is not such a wise guy horse. A wise guy horse.
All you wise guys shared this with all your buddies in New York.
Exactly. Like we have inside information. We're wise guys. We are sneaky handicappers that most of you aren't going to pick up on. So we think we're wise guys, but sometimes not so wise.
Okay, so who's your wise guy horse?
Okay, the horse that, first of all, this is a maiden special weight, 1 mile on the turf.
All right, hold that thought. We're gonna go to Woodbine real quick.
Woodbine, okay.
And we're just we'll run this real quick. You need to be near the lead. So at the stretch, if you look at the horses, the only horse that probably couldn't win is the 2, and the rest of them can. So you would take a price in a situation like this and a decent win percentage. I would probably take a horse. For me, my type of style would be I would probably take a horse like the 6 horse, because this horse has some speed. It's tactical. Let's take a look and see what happens here. Just to break it up a little bit. Let's go.
Is all in and locked up. Off they run, a perfect start. Native Prince goes to the lead from the outside, and shooting through is On the Rail, Private Lake. And they're the top 2 as they go to the wire. No opposition for Native Prince to guide to the lead here, and shows out by a length and a half. Some movement up the rail to second by Mumbo in the Forest. Private Lake is 3rd as they turn out the stretch. And over on the inside, Curlyville, the widest October Frost, and Stop the Humbug in the center, now switching to the inside. So they are pretty relaxed all throughout, and showing the way is Native Prince by a length. Off the rail now, Mumbo in the Forest in 2nd, 2 to Private Lake. And racing together are Curlyville and October Frost. And a length and a half away last is Stop the Humbug. about 4.5 covers them, and still out in front nicely is Native Prince with the head to the side by a half. Prodding is Mumbo in the Forest. A length and a quarter away, Curlyville on the inside. Private Lake the outer, and then October Frost and 2.5 to Stop the Humbug is last. They've gone at a very slow pace, and showing the way is Native Prince as they race to the half mile. A length in front is now quickening for Rafael Hernandez. Native Prince by a length and a quarter. In second placing, Mambo in the Forest. Up on the inside, starting to move into it well is Coleyville. Private Lake in the center. A gap to October Frost, and up the inside, running now. Stop the Humbug as they go to the 5/16. It's a sprint from here, and Native Prince by a length. Ridden along, Mambo in the Forest attacking Coleyville. Plenty of horse there on the inside. Behind them, Stop the Humbug as they corner. Native Prince in front, Coleyville looking for the room in the center. It opens up now, and Coleyville called to the front. Races up to hit the lead from Native Prince, and over on the inside, Stop the Humbug. It's Coleyville about a half to a length in front. Native Prince on the inside, and Coleyville is starting to push on to clear away. And down to the wire, Kazushi Kimura wins the opener on Coleyville by 2.5. Native Prince second, 40 Stop the Humbug third, and then Mambo in the Forest.
5.
47.16 was
All
the
right.
time.
Just to break it up a little bit. Okay, let's get back. We got, where were we? Laurel, race number what?
Laurel, race number 7.
Laurel,
I was
race
just going to, let me just pull up the EquinEdge. Let me just take a look at the stats here.
All right, let's play this race. I'm going to sort from the 12 horse down. So 7 horse is dropping in GSR, but nobody really, well, besides the 10 who's a long shot, has a really good GSR. So even though the surge indicator is pointing down, still probably a horse you have to be careful for. It's a horse to watch. It's 3-1 on the EE morning line. And the EE long shot is second. The 12 horse is an interesting horse. I don't love the post from here. If you see where the starting position is, I don't love that post for the 12, and the horse has no speed as well. So it's going to have to be way the best to win this race. So I would say no. The 2 is going to save ground on the inside. First time starter, and ground motion with first time starters is 11% with 103 samples. But horse looks okay. When we look at the turf breeding, it's okay breeding on the turf.
Right. Okay. The way I looked at this race, I'm going to look for turf breeding and horses who've had decent races on turf, since this is a maiden race. And usually one of the angles, Scotty, that I'm looking for is give me a chance with a horse who's never started on a turf that may have some turf breeding off a race on a dirt, which may be dismal, but the horse is bred for the turf. So that dirt race is going to be construed as a prep race. And you can throw that race totally out.
Right.
So I'll go through this. Now we've got the 2 and the 3 with both Gray Motion. Gray Motion doesn't usually score too often with first timers. However, it can be done, but I'm going to let these horses look like they could have ability going forward, but I'm going to let each one of them beat me. And the horse that looks logical to me is the 8 Virtual. First race on the turf, had a nice 5th, only a length and a quarter off, puts blinkers on. I love English channels on the turf. However, I'm going to be more of a wise guy here. So then I looked at Hollywoodland. Oh, meets the parameters, meets my strategy. First time on the turf, some some decent races on the dirt. Mile and 16th at Pimlico, nice second at 4 to 5. Blinkers on, is quality road, could be eligible to be any type on the turf. So that would be a contender of mine, 8 or 7. However, I'm trying to be a real wise guy here, so I'm looking for something that maybe people aren't picking up on. I'm going to take a chance here. That's what gambling is all about, right? I'm looking for a price, and I'm all over a 15-1 morning line, but a 12-1 EE morning line. So, and that horse is Biscuit. I want to put the biscuit in the basket, which is what my Rangers didn't do last night. So somebody's got to get it done. This horse ran on a muddy track, 7 furlongs, dismal race. He had a little bit of speed and just totally packed it in. However, muddy track. This horse may not have cared for a muddy off track. This horse is trained by Brittany Russell. Brittany Russell's second time out with any second lifetime race is 26%. This horse is not bred so much for turf. Nyquist, I don't, but I think this is out of Nyquist is out of Uncle Mo, who could run on the turf, has some good turf breeding, I mean. And I looked up street interest. This horse, the Dam, ran 2 races on the turf, both 6th. So doesn't give you anything but street cry. The Dam of that horse was definitely, I'm sorry, the sire of that horse was definitely a very good turf horse. So I'm going to give a shot here. And I remember a handicapper back at old OTB days said, hey, listen, buddy, if you're looking for prices, you got to look for some things that people aren't looking at. And he says, you give any horse a race over the turf. This is not a dirt race. This is a turf race. Anything can happen. And if you've got a good trainer and you've got some modest turf breeding, it could be done. So here we go. I'm going with the biscuit in the basket, the 6 over the 8. So it's 6-8 for me.
6-8. Okay. Excuse me. So, okay. For me, this is an easy decision. The simulator race has the horse right there. It's 9-2 on the EquinEdge morning line. The 8 horse, the EquinEdge long shot. It ran a very nice race last time out from the rail. I mean, not that the rail is a big deal, but when you have 8 other horses on your outside and you're still trying at the stretch was trying, I think that that this 8 horse is probably the horse to beat. And the reason I say that too is when I look at a horse and I look at its qualities, I also have to look at the competition. Who's the main competition? The 12 draws outside, 10-1 on the EE morning line. The 7 horse, the GSR is dropping to a 48, and it already has burned money. So I got to try to beat that horse, and it really leaves me with the 8 horse, who's done nothing wrong, and has a good GSR. In fact, has the top GSR. So top GSR. The win percentages are irrelevant in here because nobody really has a great win percentage. The EE morning line's 9-2, so that's really good. So I got to go with the 8.
The 8 makes sense, and I don't think there's any way you're going to get anywhere near 6-1. You'll get a much lower price. English Channel, blinkers on. It's a logical choice, and that's 6-8 for me. But the one thing I'd be interested in seeing, Scotty, when this race hits the board, is the prices if the 2 or the 3 are taking any money. And that would be a key as to whether one of those horses may be able to run well first time out. So I'm going to look to see what odds the 2 or 3 are on. And for real money, that during that race, I may use one of those horses also.
All right. So I do like the 9-2 EE morning line on the 3 horse. That's, telling me a little bit of something. Graham Motion obviously is one of the top trainers. So I have a feeling this horse can run some. The jockey trainer combinations, let's take a look at that. 24% in 149 samples. So I like that. Nothing wrong with the 17% with Gomez and Bryan. I think I'm going to go with 8-3 in here.
Yeah, and Graham Motion is, just looked it up. First lifetime star is 11%. Like I said, I don't know if I look at Graham Motion, I don't really see a trainer who wins with a lot of first timers. I'm looking for a race or 2, but 11%. I mean, it can be done if he's got the right horse. So they're not automatic throw-outs.
Right. They're adding blinkers to the 7 horse. I mean, the horse is already fast, but adding blinkers, you can see there's going to be a lot of speed. Where's the rail at on here? The rail is 35 feet, so it's a little bit out.
Changes trainers from Shug to Jimmy Toner.
Yeah.
And off a layoff. So the layoff does concern me.
I mean, this horse is going to be keen from the very beginning. Blinkers, layoff. They're also adding blinkers to the 8 horse. I guess maybe they weren't happy with the focus of the horse because the horse showed some speed. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to like get a little bit nervous about this 8 horse now because are they going to duel with the 7? Is the jockey on the 8 going to feel like was this Kevin Gomez? Yeah, Kevin Gomez is going to feel like he's got to keep up with the 7 because unfortunately he doesn't have the luxury of sitting because there really is no other speed in here to go with the 7. So you know, maybe the first time starter 3 is the way to go, smooching.
Yeah, I also think the 6 is going to show some speed.
Let's see here. I mean, could on the stretch out. The GSR drops though. I think this horse has more dirt. Well, I know it does based on the GSR. It's got a 70 on the dirt tab and a 64 on the turf. Especially with the blinkers on both the 7 and the 8. And the pace number is showing. Well, it does show that the 6 horse has some speed, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to be even close to as fast as what's going to end up happening with the 7 and the 8. Let's see here. Right there at the first call, you can see even the 11 is somewhat fast. Maybe can the 12 get there?
Yeah, I don't really, not a big fan of the 12, only because of this horse is just so slow early. And seems to at times not get away well. Pinched at the break September 2nd of last year, bump start in a prior race at Belmont. Now that, and then it was also in 40,000 maiden claimers. But again, that could equate well to Laurel Park's maiden special weights, right? But I've seen this horse run before. Blinkers come off. I just think this horse is going to be too far back early. I'm not a big fan. To me, the 12 was a throwout.
Yeah, I mean, it is the second pick, and there is going to be some speed. And so when you look at how the system at least shows this horse closing.
You know, I just wanted to point out another horse here, Scotty.
Yeah.
That seems like a little bit of a sleeper, and you're going to get a nice price if you like this horse. And that's the 11 La Fantasma. It's Michael Matz's horse. Now, Michael Matz, to me, I don't even have to look. He's probably a 6 to 9% trainer, maybe. What's the numbers on him?
He's 11% trainer and 14% off the layoff. Yes.
Now, not to say that he can't win. This horse could be sneaky. This horse has raced 2 races at Laurel, tune-up races. Michael Match, you're not going to equate with a first-time starter or trainer type of thing. Usually takes a while. He's more of a distance. He gets his turf horses a distance. Then she goes to a synthetic race on December 17th, showed speed from an outside post at 40 to 1, and then raced in a good race, a mile race at Gulfstream. There's some nice, Lady Emily Kathleen was in that race. I think I was actually there at the track that day, and I think the quality of the field there was much better.
Oh, no, that time of year, maiden special weights on the turf over there. Oh, yeah. Forget about it.
That's a championship meet.
Oh, yeah.
So just wanted to throw that horse out there, too, if anybody wants to use a longer shot. You know, if I was at the NHC and I needed some that was starting to lag behind on day one, I would probably – this is the race I would probably try to beat people with a 6 Biscuit, and you know the 11 may be a tempting horse for me.
Yeah,
but I think the 8's the most likely winner. So I would be 8 and 6, 11 like exactas just to be looking for some value.
So you're going to go with the 8 on top?
No, I'm going with the 6 on top, being a wise guy. This is my price horse of the day. I can't I got to have at least one price horse. You'll see when I'm picking all these chalks later on that I need something. So I'm doing 6, 8 with an honorable mention to the 11, trying to get him in my triple.
Right. Let's see what.
Trying to get her. I apologize. Her.
Showed a good stride through the lane and finished up with ears pricked. So that was even back then. So this horse is ready to go. Firgo Lynch, and let's see what their jockey trainer combination is. 24. Oh, yeah, we looked at that. 24% on the 3 horse. I mean, yeah, 22%, by the way, on your 6 horse with Russell and Cruz. But I mean, the horse is dropping. It's still got a fair enough GSR. It's dropping in GSR though. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a price. You actually could be on something there, actually. Yeah, I could see that.
Biscuit.
I could see it. Absolutely. Like what a tough one. The other thing is when you look at this, look at who's got the lowest of the GSRs. It's the 7. And the horse has already burned money at high win percentages and high GSRs. I mean, absolutely have to try to beat this 7 horse. The problem is the reason I'm struggling now, I really was feeling confident about the 8. They're adding blinkers. And I'm afraid that Gomez is going to go try to duel, but I don't know where else to go. The only other place I would go would be the 3 horse smooching for Grand Motion. But yeah, that would be the only other place I would know to go. So you know what I'm going to do? I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 8-3 and then 3-8. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Because if the 8 wins and I don't use it, I'm going to be really upset with myself.
All right.
Okay, Gulfstream Park 7. Let's go to that.
Gulfstream Park 7th. Okay, got an interesting decision to make here as far as I'm
All right, we got Gulfstream Park race number 2. Let's go out there first.
Okay, great.
Who do we have there?
Oh, I have
We both have the 2, Elagio. Yep, who's the fastest horse in the race
at 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, the 8's closing, so I can see why they're using Smart Jenny. But this horse has burned a lot of money, doesn't have any particular class, and absolutely doesn't have any speed, which does not work to this horse's advantage. Honestly, it looks like it looks like the 2 and the 4. The 5 horse Boho Lady, a first-time starter, I think this horse might come out running. We talked about this. A first-time starter, Scotty Longshot, they're dangerous, and the trainer's got to win in 4 tries. For me, I would try to beat the 8, but I would imagine that 6-1 maybe Boho Lady could be an interesting horse, but I still like the 2 because I love the speed at the surface and distance. I'm looking at the changes now for us, and then I look there and I see no changes. I would, to me, it's 2-4-5. I like the picks. They're at the gate as well.
And with the blinkers on, second time blinkers, this horse should just be gunning. And like I said in the past, I've been beaten too many times on these 5 furlong Tapeta tracks, trying to be a wise guy and look for closers. And the speed of the speed, and I don't think there's tons of speed in this field unless one of the first to show speed. And that seems unlikely to me, unless the 5 does.
Let's see here.
The only thing I'm concerned about looking at this board, Scott, is the 2 at 3-1 seems a little dead on the board. I thought this horse would take more money.
I did too.
Star Performance is 2-1.
I saw it click down to 5-2, and I'm thinking the next flash is 2-1. But
Boho Lady. Here's Boho Lady moving forward for trainer Kathy Gashard.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. 2 wire to wire.
Is Faith and Smart Jenny. On the outside, Smart Jenny will complete the line. 5 furlongs, start of the early pick 4. In the gate.
Let's go, Edwin.
Off and running. Star Performance broke the line well. Meanwhile, Princess Miss Emile checked the last. It's Star Performance who takes the early advantage, trying to guard that inside spot.
Let me get rid of these ads. I'm trying to get rid of this ad instead. I'm just putting it up.
Almost 3 in line early. Great trip for
the 2's rating off the pace a little bit surprises me.
On the course is Zoya's Faith, and the one not keeping up early, Princess Miss Emile. Round the far turn at the 5.
So the first-time starter actually got the lead.
Yeah.
3 wide Boho Lady. Elagio working for a run. Smart Jenny's under pressure, not responding. A loss of ground for
the 6 at 19-1. Look at this horse, but I mean, it's way, way, way wide.
Too flat for the quarter. Off the turn and the stretch drive. Plenty of hopes here from between horses. Star Performance down the center.
Look at
Enjoy
this.
His Faith. Looking for room behind the speed is Princess Miss Emile. Right there, Boho Lady. They come past the 16th pole. On the inside, it's still Star Performance.
And
Boho
this 8's
Lady,
going to get there.
Where's the 8?
from between
Yep.
Zoya's Faith. Smart Jenny over the top.
Look at that. Did you
Wow.
see that?
Smart
Was
Jenny
there
for the
6
money.
horses at the
Close
wire?
down for second.
Maybe
Yeah.
7?
Basically,
7 and 4.
yeah.
It's incredible.
Now, see, sometimes the race does not shape up the way that you have it in your mind's eye, right? So I don't know how Elagio does not get the lead. Blinkers on, second time.
Exactly.
If I'm looking at the time, 21 and 3, this horse can run the early start. I mean, yeah, it's unlikely that this horse, and I watched the replay. It didn't look like it got a bad break. It was just interesting.
All right, Laurel 3. Let's get out there. Oh, my internet is struggling a little bit. So let's share that.
I think if 4 got second in that race up to 8. Yeah, it looks like 8-4 at Gulfstream. Okay, let's fight another battle. All right, Laurel.
Penn has a great card tonight. Yeah, no, I don't think that's part of the contest. Yeah.
I was going to mention that before we departed today. I love the Penn Mile card every year, and I usually play. It starts at 5 p.m. And if no one's ever been to, if you haven't been to Penn National and you're in the Northeast or anywhere near Pennsylvania, I would take a visit to that track. It's such a nice little track. It's in the middle of nowhere. We got a nice mountain view. It looks like almost a mini Santa Anita. Nothing like Santa Anita, obviously, but it's you would not even know you're like in a country. I think it's Country Road that you run down off of Route 81, and it's just really a nice little track. They had contests there. They used to have one in November, and that's where the original handicapping contest started. Steve Chris was all over that. I believe he's the one that organized that. It was the Horseplayers World Series or Horseplayers Championship, something like that. And it was the big one at Penn National. It's a nice little track. And by the way, I'd love a horse tonight at Penn National in the Penn Mile.
You do?
Yeah.
Who do you like?
And that would be Set. Set comes out of the same race as Kahari, who won the Gulfstream Park, the Churchill Downs race. Got off slow. That's all you need to know. Now you're getting a much better price. I think this horse is definitely going to take money, but that's the horse I have interest in. I will look at it further tonight. I believe
Which race is it?
I believe it's earlier. It's the 6th race, I believe. Let me just pull up my charts here.
Get Set?
It's Set.
Just Set.
In the 6th race, just Set. Oscar Performance. This is Mark Cassie horse. This horse broke its maiden at 7.5 at Gulfstream. Typhoon Fury. I remember that's Typhoon Fury is a decent turf horse. I believe that's Live Oak Plantation. Then ran in this little stakes, Cutler Bay, and bet down to 3-5 and won again at 7.5. Nice and easy. And then all you need to know, bet down to 9-1 in a 14-horse field on the American turf, grade 2, and cost itself any chance it had by getting off slow. You can toss that race totally out. And this horse is ready to rebound, stay close to the pace, and that's my play of the day.
Okay. Set. 6-1 on the morning line. Let's get out to Laurel Park. This is race number 3. I have the 3-horse. You have the 6-horse. So I've got the EquinEdge long shot. Let's get out there.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah, that class is going to be fun tonight with Chris. You want to check that out.
Second finish line. And they're off.
Brad's curious how you caught. Sorry, guys. I'm
Right to
clicking
the
and
front.
clicking, and
Around the zip line
the
to
internet's
heaven.
really
EP Milton
slow.
out of the inside. Southern Land,
Brad
the
wants
red
to
cap
know
on the
how
far
you
outside is on
found
the
set
chase too. Bourbon Currency
Trouble
comes
line.
to the fifth spot.
using
Then
the
freestanding to the
EquinEdge
far
no
outside. Racing
methodology.
about the three path
No,
of
I
the
think
far
you just
turn.
the trouble
Secretary
line.
at war in between horses.
Trouble. If you look at EquinEdge, look at the trouble line. That's all I need to know.
This is now ground saving.
What those last two races, first two races.
Sniper trails the field.
Hey,
Psychedelic
right
Shack
now,
is the leader from
my
Southern Land and Zipline to
psychedelic
Heaven
shack
to the
and your
inside
six horse
midway on
look
the
pretty
turn.
darn good.
Freestanding is fourth. EP
Yes,
Milton
two
is
grades.
fifth.
You're gonna have a hard time
Outside by
catching me down the
Secretary
stretch
at
here.
war into the stretch, quarter of a mile left to go. Second wire finish.
Come on, Six, get up for
Psychedelic
second.
Shack trying to kick away by 2. Zip line to Heaven.
He's gonna go to the outside.
Outside for that last
Hold
furlong
up,
and a
Six.
half. Then back on the
One
outside
time,
is
three,
freestanding,
six.
trying to hold on to third. EP Milton trying to offer a bit of late kick as well for a long left to go. Psychedelic Shack on the lead. Zip line to Heaven levels off. Extreme outside.
Oh, you got me.
Barbados is coming with a late run. Zip line to
6-3.
Heaven from Psychedelic Shack. Sula's Barbados.
Nice going.
There you go. Okay. Well, I had the exacta, so then the first two choices just in opposite order. So, cha-ching.
Nice going. All right. Woodbine race number 2 is coming up. Okay, so in this race number at where were we actually? We were at Laurel Park, I think, race number 7, I think, but no, we are at Gulfstream Park 7 now.
Gulfstream Park 7th. All right, let me just pull up my notes on that, Scotty. All right, this is the race I'm going to have a few laughs on, that's for sure. Did you want to run the simulator or just wait till the results are official?
I'm sorry. I thought I was running it, but you guys, I had you on the wrong screen. Okay, there we go. So it looks like the 4 horse, who's 10-1 on the odds makers morning line. It's also a price play, top pace by far. It's interesting that the 1 horse is the EquinEdge long shot and 39% to win and a horse to watch is right there as well. I mean, look at this, almost a vertical line. This is it looks like a really wide. Okay, this is a tough race.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah, well, we've got a little funny type of. I've got an interesting dilemma here because I was at Gulfstream on March 20th of this year, and there for that race, maiden $25,000 claimer, and I was on this horse Saratoga for Dale Romans, who finished a nice second. And Blinker, what I liked about that horse that day, I liked that she was putting blinkers on first time, and she showed improvement over her last race.
Right.
Comes back at a mile and 70 yards on a synthetic, maiden special weight, and had a bobbled break, but won the race at 4-1. So this horse has improved with blinkers added. And the one thing that is funny to me is this horse is owned by Tom Rooney, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to pick against the Tom Rooney owned horse. Is really not a great policy. And the guy who presents you with a $725,000 check and then a $25,000 check and not use one of his horses. Okay.
Right.
It's time for me to, and it's time for me to return and put some money in on his horse. So I do think that's the funny thing. Now, this could be a hunch play. I used Tom Rooney's horse to, get me to the NHC. But with all seriousness, this horse has improved with blinkers added.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to use this horse at some point, first or second on one of my tickets, if I use 2 tickets. Yeah. And the other logical horse I had here, the only one I'm really interested in is even though the 4 Plankton has speed and has a chance to wire, I'm not convinced breaking your maiden for 16 and coming right back for optional claimer 20 is the right move. That you got to prove that she can beat winners. Yep. So the horse that I'm going to use is Lady Cha-Cha. So that's Vino Rosso. This is Kent DeSormo on. Won her last race, 50,000 allowance, and does need a little pace. But off that race, I think that horse is going to be very tough. But I'm going to try to be a wise guy. Use the 3 because even if the 5 wins the race, Tom Rooney's horse finishes second. gave me $8 or $9 to place. I'm going to take that risk. So I'm taking 3 over 5, Tom. Let's go, boy. Let's get me home.
All right. So the EquinEdge top pick is the 5. The 4 is
logical
right there to the stretch. It's a logical horse. The 1 is there in the stretch and then loses. The 7 is interesting. The 7 is just like right there. I think Burnaway is going to be really, really tough. The horse seems to be have a strong look. It looks like Vasquez is out of town. We look at the jockey trainer combination. Zayas on the 6. I tell you what, Gonzalez has been riding really, really good, and he's on the 1 horse. Was he aboard for that win? No, he wasn't. He's aboard for the for Miller, who also owns the horse. And I'm surprised to see this horse at 39%. To be honest with you, this is a tougher competition for sure. But this horse has been seemingly handling tougher competition each time. But this is going to be a tougher race. I'm kind of on the 7 horse. I think the only thing I will say is I'm always trying to be careful about a horse. This horse is 4 times at this level, now 5, and it just doesn't seem to get there. I'm always leery of horses like this, but I'll tell you why I'm going to forgive it. Look at the GSR on 2 of them, 47 here and 49 here. They didn't like the dirt, but on the turf, look how well this horse is run. Now it's getting more distance. I think that's going to be a good thing for this horse. 5 second-place finishes when maybe the horse has not been managed as good as it could have been. I think that the EquinEdge second pick is going to be tough. I think it's going to come down to your 5 and 7. I think the EquinEdge picks have got it. I think the long shot will run a good race, but even at 39%, I don't think I can use the 1 horse. Let's Go Coco. I think I'm gonna. It's between the 5 and the 7 for me. You're going with the 5, right? The 5.
No, I'm going with the 3. Tom Rudy's horse.
Go to 3.
Because I'm thinking I'm going to get. Again, this horse broke its maiden special weight again on the synthetic, but this horse has been running in the maiden 40. It was and it improved with the addition of blinkers. So I'm thinking this horse is going to run decent. I'm hoping she gets a second. I think the 5's the most likeliest winner. The concern I have about the 6 is 1 for 30 lifetime, and the 7's 1 for 11. But I think the 7 is the other logical contender. So if I'm playing a triple, it's going to be 5-3-7, 5-7-3, something. I'm trying to get the 3 to hit the board.
Yeah, I think with a good trip, Reyes aboard, I think the 7 is going to be tough to beat. So I'm going to go 7-5.
Okay, and I'm 3-5.
So 7-5. David is 3-5. All right, so 7-5. I'm okay. All right, Gulfstream Park, race number 8 is the next one.
Is there before we move on to that race, Scotty? Is there an inquiry or something at Gulfstream? Does anybody see that? The race is still not official.
Nope. It's official.
No. It's official. Okay, it's not coming up on the leaderboard here. Oh, okay.
Yep. Nope. It's official.
Okay.
Okay. So Gulfstream Park, race number 8. Let's get out there. Let's run this race.
The reason it wasn't coming up is something wrong with my my internet and that computer that's plugged in.
Yeah. Okay. Jared, we're not covering Churchill races here. We're just trying to cover the NHC races, and then also, we don't get the feed, the simulcast feed. So we don't cover any of the Churchill stuff. What do you think about this race, David?
Yeah, I thought it was a rather competitive race, but the bottom line is that I settled here pretty quickly, so I don't need to spend a lot of time here. Already been beaten by one horse on a Tapeta who I thought was going wire to wire, never got the lead. Not going to let it happen again. I got a horse who's going to get the lead. It's another Steve Clasera's horse. It's blinkers. Oh, I throw blinkers on? No. Okay, blinkers. Fourth time, blinkers on for the fourth time. I apologize. I just think that I'm all over East Boston Benny, and I think at 5 furlongs, I'm going to get a wire job. I don't know how this horse didn't get the lead last time out. Switches back to Zayas. That's all I need to know. Zayas, Clasera's combination. Even though there is some other speed, I'm going with the speed of the speed. I don't know. There was a show, the simulator show that the 3 gets a clear lead.
No,
Okay.
in fact, just the opposite. There's so
Okay.
much speed in this race. That would be my concern. And the other horses that have speed are kind of the front running type. The thing I like about the 4 horses, it's tactical. And I really do think this 4 horse can sit a really good trip right behind all this speed. And like I said, it has to be tactical. I don't really like horses that come from too far back, but there's look at the 2 style. I mean, this horse is on the inside, seems to need the lead going 5 furlongs. I mean, this guy, he's sending. The 3 horse needs the lead. They're sending. 7 horse from the outside. This horse rated here in this race, but from the inside here went to the lead. They might try to, Reyes might try to rate this 7 horse. Showed the ability against easier. That doesn't always happen against better. The GSR goes up a little bit, but look at this horse. I mean, I think this horse is a turf horse, and you can see that it is. So I think the 7 is not that great. The 5 horse seems to need the lead for its best and doesn't seem to be this kind of class. Now that leaves us with the 1, 6, and 4. Now, this horse won against a 48 group last time out, barely getting up. It's lightly raced, so you don't know. The chances of it getting up and beating this group are not likely, but they are going to be going fast. This horse broke its maiden for 25,000 here going this distance. It can rate, and then it moved up last time out against tougher, and it was off slow at 65-1. You can throw that out. This could be a bomb, absolute bomb here, no doubt about it. But the trainer is over. So Vasquez had this horse back here.
That's a concern.
That would be a concern. So that leaves me with the 4 horse. So I got to go with the 4.
Okay, I'm going to take the guess here that the 3 with Zayas back on is going to go back and revert to that the early fractions on February 17th. They went 20-4. That's the first time that this horse has had blinkers. This horse with blinkers on, I think Zayas is just going to gun. And like I said, Scotty, I've been burnt so many times with these Tapeta races, thinking there's going to be a fast pace, and I'm going to go with a closer. I'm going to take a shot that the 3 is going to be the speed of the speed with Zayas. So this is 3-2 for me here. The 2 speeds, 3-2.
Okay, David. 3-2. Scotty 4. I can completely understand. I mean, especially it's usually speed that wins those races. But based on the simulator, this horse is not that far back.
I know. Mm-hmm.
Now, so, I ran a good race here. Seems to have a little bit of a touch of class. Even, this is an older work, but Bruno said that, this horse was pretty decent. So I'll go with this, but I can understand the 3. Absolutely. I mean, but Zayas is going to have to send really, really, really hard.
Yeah, and I also like the angle that this horse is morning line 4-1, but the EE morning line's 5-2. So.
Yeah. The E morning line doesn't really love anybody in here. It's going to be a wide open race. Do you give the 1 horse a look? I mean, look at the style of the 1. 1 could save ground while all those horses are going, and that 1 could get a perfect trip. This is not a bad long shot.
Yeah, I did take a glance at this one. My concern, again, from the rail, tricky post, but if this horse stays close enough and may inherit the lead at some point, because if the pace falls apart. The concern I had is he broke his maiden at 12.5 claimer and then moved up to 16 off a win. So it shows confidence moving up, but maybe a little cheap for these. But you know, sometimes when a horse is in form, moving it up is a good angle, right?
Right.
But I'm not sure this horse classes up. But it's 2 for 2 on the Tapeta. So if that's your angle, you can't say, hey, I played a 10-1 morning, but the reason was the horse is 2 for 2 on Tapeta, and it's only other race ran a maiden special weight.
There you go.
That was totally overmatched. So yeah.
Yeah, you made a better case for my own horse than I did.
I talked you in to a horse that I'm not going to have, and when it beats me, I'm going to say, "Geez."
Okay, so here we go. Let's look at this race here. Laurel Park, race number 9. 5 horse has got a clear lead early. 4-5 horse to watch. 42%. Top EquinEdge pick. Now they're coming to the stretch, and they're coming at this 5. And then he says, "Nope, you're not coming after me," and holds on. What do you think of that? It looks
this
like
is Laurel race night. I apologize. I'm like, hold it. You have the wife knows it all winning that race?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Not following my notes. All right. Let's go to the 9th at. Oh, okay. Okay. This is the race, Scotty, where I'm not spending a lot of time on.
Okay.
I'm just moving on and taking the whatever price this horse is. And that's the 5, always laughing. This horse is going to be the prohibitive favorite. We had a couple of late scratches. It's it's a small field. It's rather weak in my eyes.
Yeah.
The barn is hot. This horse makes a lot of sense on the cutback from 1 1/16 to a mile. If you notice the 2 races at 1 1/16 at Laurel, this horse had a clear lead after about a mile. And this just barely held on March 30th, won by a neck at 6-1. And also January 12th, just kind of packed it in as the favorite. That would lead me to believe, based on its wins at a mile, that looks like Mountaineer, right? Yeah. That this horse is suited to a mile, dropping back to his best distance. So I don't spend a lot of time in. To me, it's all the number 5, always laughing.
Yeah. Mahoning Valley.
Mahoning Valley. Did I say? Yeah. Mahoning Valley.
Mahoning Valley. This one's got Mountaineer in it. What a tough one. So help me. Tell me why this 2 can't win. So this horse can rate. Won this race 3 back. Same conditions. Ran huge. Same jockey. Same trainer. Then was fractious in the gate here. And didn't run. Something happened. Then in this race, broke last, shuffled at the start, 6 furlongs, and the horse was never going to do anything. I guess my question to you is, I'm wondering, why the hell was this horse in for 6 furlongs when it had been doing what it had been doing going 8 furlongs? It clearly something happened 8.5 furlongs. I'm just saying there's some excuses here, and it's the EquinEdge long shot, and the simulator has the horse finishing. I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
the 5 horse is going to be 3-5, 2-5. Do we really want? And shouldn't we be looking at maybe the 1 or 2?
Yeah, Scotty. In the case when I see a 5 horse field now with the scratches, the only time that if I think a horse is a single and a free square, unless I can find a long shot to finish second, that may pay as much or more than the winner plays for win in place. That's the only alternative I would consider. In this case, even if I use the 2 or the 1 or the 2, if they finish second, I'm going to get less of a price, right? There's no value in this race. So when I see no value, I will go with the horse I think is the most logical winner.
All right, let me give you a horse that you might want to look twice at, though. Okay. Has a very good record at Laurel. Earned more than half of its money. Where'd I go? How the hell did I do that? Let's try going back there. Laurel 9, right? Okay. Look at Isabella's Glory, the 1 horse. Okay. So you want to look at the first race back, 5.5 on turf. The GSR was a 52. Horse only lost by 4 3/4 lengths. It looks like they gave this horse the race. Then comes here, going 8.5, or Pimlico, steadied into the first turn, was 12 lengths back and only lost by 7 1/4 lengths against Similar. Now moves up in win percentage, and GSR goes up to 67. Now, I think the 1 horse is going to be coming, and the 2 horse is going to be coming, just like the simulator says. That being said, what you said about speed, when you have a short field and you have a horse that's clearly the fastest horse in the race, they're very tough to catch. And so I have mixed feelings. That being said, the 5 horse is going to go off at 3 to 5. I think I have to take, logically, I have to take the 1 or the 2. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. On one ticket, I'm going to do 1, 2, and the other one, I'm going to do 2, 1, knowing that the 5 horse is the horse to beat.
Okay. The reason I don't like the 1, and if I was going to use an alternative, it probably would be the 2, is that the 1, even with the being studied into the first turn in his last race, she just doesn't have any speed. So just being studied that early probably didn't cost her. I know she closed, but that seemed like a pretty fast pace. So I just think this horse is going to be so far back that I'm not going to give it a shot.
Makes total sense. I get it. I total sense. 5's the horse to beat, no doubt about it. I'm going to go with the odds. All right, Gulfstream Park, race number 9. Race number 3 at Gulfstream Park, by the way, is going off in about maybe 1 or 2 minutes. So we will go out there. In fact, you know what? Let's just go there. Let's just
go there now.
Yeah, we'll just do that. Let's take a look and see if there's a bet for us. You like the 6 horse. I'm on El de Joshua, who's got a lot of speed. Let's run the first call. Yeah, in the lead, pretty good. I mean, and holds the lead all the way. Horse to watch, 5 to 2 right now, 41%. EquinEdge pick. I think the 2 horse is going to be really tough to beat. Make your case for the 6.
Well, it's harder for me to make the case with the 6 now because I was shocked. I'm looking at the odds board, 9 to 2. So to me, that horse is dead on the board.
Absolutely dead on the board. And can I give you another thing? Look at this horse. Does it not look like that? Look, its only win was gate to wire against a 42 group at 27%. Now, the GSR is higher. I don't know that this horse can really rate that much. I don't know. This horse's form seems off to me. Now it's dropping in class. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a reason a trainer normally drops a horse in class, right? Maybe they think the horse can't run. They're just trying to get rid of him. I'm sorry. And
trainer combination here though, with the 2, is 50%. That's only 2 races though, but they're coming back. Here's what I like. I love this, and this is old school handicapping, and you know what I mean when I'm say this, and that is, I love when a trainer wins a maiden claimer, especially a cheaper one like this, and then first time against winners puts the horse in spotted realistically, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Exactly.
And this horse is in for $8,000. Most of the time, a horse wins a race, the trainer thinks he's got the next Kentucky Derby winner.
Right. Yeah, you usually see winning a maiden 40 claimer, they'll put it into a maiden, a non-one. Yeah. That's the key to winning races. These claiming races, having horses in their appropriate quality of race.
All right, the 3 is going to be your favorite.
Well, I'm still going with the 6. I'm a Pepper 2 to 1 morning. I'm getting 4 to 1. Dead on the board, but I gave it a shot.
Oh, 2 broke bad. That's going to help the 6. Dan's got the 6 as well. All right, well, come on, 6. I was going to bet the 2, and I'm so glad I didn't now. Very difficult to break slow like that and win. But the 6 does, to me, is it me or the 6 running really strangely?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like the jockey's like, he's like, okay, maybe they're just trying to get this horse claimed. I don't know. He's coming.
Yeah, but he is sitting a perfect trip off outside of a speed duel. at 5 to 1.
Wow. Come on. This is a gift. Three's not running.
Joe's gaining ground while wide on the course. At the rail, Modern Lane, Viva
Come on, 6.
They reach the top of the stretch. Still plenty of
Nah,
here from
something's amiss with that 6.
Yeah,
horse.
yeah, he's
Modern Lane is
running really weird. 5's going to probably win. Oh, here comes the 3 late on the rail.
Alongside him is I'm a Peppa. Eighth of a
Oh,
mile.
I don't know. Nobody wants to. Come on, 6. One time. Get up. Beat this 3. Oh, that's okay.
Okay, got a second.
No, but
well, you got the favorite, and I got 5 to 1, so I'll take that any day because you want 5 to 1. I don't want 6 to 5. We'll probably get $4.80 for 60, between 440 and 480. You would think for place.
That was ugly. All right, we're going to go to Laurel Park because in the feeder, anyways. Dan, remind us who you have in the feeder. That's coming up in 3 minutes. Let's see here, Laurel.
The feeder at
race
Laurel
4, at Laurel Park, race 4. Yep.
Laurel Park, race 4. Who do I? Let me just pull up my Horseplayers account. Oh yeah, I'm looking for a price here. Order of the Kettle.
You have the 6 horse. I'm a no. I don't know why I can't get Laurel up here. Hold on here.
The 4th race at Laurel, I have the 4 horse Order of the Kettle, who I think is a decent price here. Let's see what we got. $5 to 1. Horse is taking money.
You have
the higher price.
Order of the Kettle. Okay. Now, what position? So Dan needs the 7. So heads or tails. I mean, it's a wide open race. We talked about this. I'm on the 5 horse Addie's Lady TNT, but I've got no fighting here. So I'm rooting for you guys.
Right. So just so you, I'm looking at the leaderboard right now for the early bird feeder. Jim Colbert's on top, $47. Ty Alexander, Earl Pratt, the first 3. Now I'm in 62nd out of 163 entries, with 32 getting entries to the qualifier. So with the place money from Ama Peppa should move me up, but then I would have to 100% get this horse home. So if the 4 horse wins, it'll be tight in the top 32. So let's go 4.
Well, there's going to be, it appears that there is going to be a lot of speed in this race. You got Rad Paisley. This horse is getting hit back off the layoff. This horse won easily. It's definitely a front running type. And it's going to be tough. Kieran McGee off the layoff, 24% first off the claim, and 17% first race back. Won that race. Second race back, 17%. These are some, wow, second race back, 26%. Second race off the claim is 17%. So a lot pointing towards Kieran McGee's Rad Paisley. So they claimed this horse for $8,000. Look at what this horse, moved it up to 16 optional, claiming protecting this horse. They like this horse. I don't think there's anybody near the speed of Rad Paisley.
Correct.
No.
However, it's, this horse to me just looks too obvious. Off the layoff, goes wire to wire easy, comes back, is bet down to 6 to 5, are going to be even money at the one post, and they load him to the gate. I just think these horses race against each other. I think the 5 is going to be closer this time, and I don't think they're going to let this horse get away. And that's what I'm hoping, because I need the.
Well, I don't think they're going to have a choice. Like Rad Paisley faced a much faster horse than Addie's Lady TNT, and then when you look, okay, this horse has a 6. There is nobody else even close. If you get rid of the 5 horse here, and they faced each other last time. Look at the 2. I mean, the 2 is just too fast for these. Now, the 3 horse that Joe's using, I like the 3, but Rad Paisley faced this horse last time out, and at this same distance, and couldn't catch this horse. So in fact, was pretty far back. I like like if I'm betting, I like the 3 to be in the money. To be honest with you, but yeah, great director. Always take the longer of the prices if you like 1, 2, or 3 horses in a race, take the longer price and just call it a day. Don't even try to analyze it anymore. Here's the mistake. One of the biggest advice, and it took me a long time to learn this, is if you have 3 horses that you can't choose between, don't try to choose between them. Look and go, who's the longest shot of them, and take it.
Correct.
That's it. That's it. Like, don't try. We try to nail it too much, and then it just always comes back to bite us. You're going to hit your fair share. The truth is, you can spend another hour on handicapping those 3 horses, and you're not going to figure it out. That's really good advice, by the way, David. I think you would agree with that. We spend way too much time on that, trying to figure that out. When in this tournament, like, just hope for racing luck and get your longest price.
Yeah, and I also use at times I use that strategy in my real play. So, for instance, if I like I'll give you a hypothetical race: 8-horse field, 7 furlongs on the dirt at Saratoga or Belmont this Friday or Saturday, and I love a horse. All right, if I love a horse, he's 5 or 6 to 1. The other horse I love is 2 to 1, 5 to 2, 3 to 1. I'm always going to put the longer price horse on top with the major exacta, and then the backup with the favorite on top of the price. So I always look at that way. I am trying to look for value. I want the higher price horse on top, and then move on in my contest.
I'm so sorry, you guys. I literally forgot
this.
I
missed that too.
The 2-1, yeah, the 2 won the race. Your 4 got third, and Joe's. I thought Joe had you need the 3. I thought you said the 3. Okay, yeah, the 3 got second.
Oh, right. So it finished the logical. Right. The 2 was the lone speed.
Sorry, guys. I was a very bad producer there, David. Very bad producer.
There you go. That's okay. I probably should have shut my mouth instead of telling you about these my wagering strategy. Maybe we would have got.
Oh, we love your wagering strategy. Not true. All right, let's see. Where do we want to go? Where are we? We need to go to Gulfstream Park 9. We have 4 more races.
Brad Paisley, even money.
Gulfstream Park
Rodriguez, 2 wins.
9. There is a race at Woodbine, race number 3. And since the gracious people at Woodbine let us show these races, why don't we just do this real quickly? Woodbine, race number 3. Okay. All right, let's run the race. Well, we don't have time to run it, so I'll go to the finish. So it looks like the 3 horse is going to be really, really tough. And then maybe if you're looking to see, man, like there's a lot of speed, and then they kind of back up. I think, take a price. Take a price, but it looks like the 3 is going to be tough. You have a second-time starter here in the 2 horse. This is a very interesting horse. Maybe the 2 horse you would put in the 2nd and 3rd spots off the layoff. It could be ready to go. But at 3 to 5, it looks like the 3 is going to be really tough to beat.
I would take a shot with the 6.
Sorry, guys. My internet. I don't know. Something with the internet's not too good.
Yeah, 6 is first-time turf, and the 5 is also first-time turf. This is turf.
It's the first quarter through.
Yeah, I like that angle. I don't care how bad the dirt races are on the 6.
Look at the ears pricked on the 1. I mean, the 1 is just having a blast out there.
Oh, we can't see it, Scotty.
Oh, this internet is just killing me.
To conquer and coming up on the outside, 3 wide, Daisy Crest, Dixie Timbers the inside as they push for home, and then Majestic Appeal turning and looking to conquer, taken on by Tipsy's Empire. Now Dixie Timber up the inside, and finishing is Daisy Crest and Majestic Appeal down the outside, but look at the conquer in front, and now in the clear Dixie Timber. and is finishing on fairly, but not enough at the moment. Looking to Conquer is going to conquer, and that's a gate-to-wire win for Fraser Abe Leon. Looking to conquer by 2 to Dixie Timber. Back third,
1-3.
Majestic Appeal, and battling on for fourth, Gypsy's Empire. 132.37.
All right, nice, oldie.
Yes, and I can look at this horse
And the opening
and
quarter
show
was
you.
in
Yeah, it's
24.
the angle from a maiden special weight to a $40,000 claimer.
That was the look at the picks. I mean, it came in 1-3-5,
Yep.
and that was a second time starter. And this horse broke from the rail last time out. It's but here's the I'm looking at the two. Sorry guys, like this internet is going to get the best of me. If you look at this one horse, it faced a 52 group in its first race and now dropping to a 42 group. And that's really what happened there.
Right, exactly. And didn't run a lick the last time out. But if you look at the workout on May 26th, it's a pretty solid workout. And it was working on a turf. That's, yeah.
And Oldie's point is that first of all, you can see that the turf breeding for this, they need to get the horse on dirt. Look at the difference in the dirt and in the turf. I mean, a 55 on turf and a 68 on the tab on the dirt. So if I had that horse, I'd be, a lot of times you could take advantage of that by looking at the GSRs. Now, the 3 didn't have the best trip, to be fair, but this 3 is clearly still a decent horse off the layoff. Might have needed the race for Roger Atfield, but the GSR did drop from 58 to 51. I just think I think this horse just needs to find the right spot. Having this horse up at Woodbine probably is the wrong place for this horse. It needs to come down south and get on the dirt.
Right. First time turf. And then this horse. Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right. Gulfstream Park, race number 9. All right,
Gulfstream Park, race number 9. You'll see with my picks, Scotty, and this is for everyone listening also, that you'll see by the next couple of picks I have coming up of why I needed to take some moderate price to long shot horses earlier, because I've got some chalky horses coming up. I don't want to have all chalk in the 10 horse contest. So
yeah. So the one horse is 9-5, 58%. Is this the free square in this races? Maybe?
Yeah, I think so, Scotty. This one horse this is Safi Joseph, broke his maiden at 16 at Tampa. Comes over to Gulfstream. This is a point of entry horse, well bred for the turf. Now, again, they put this horse originally in a maiden special weight. Almost a 3-year layoff. Yeah, so they knew this horse had issues. So they put this horse her in the proper spot, probably in the proper spot again. This horse can, cozy inside posts, can sit and watch the speed develop, which is probably the 5, right? My wife knows it all. To me, it's a free square. I'm just moving on with the 1.
Yeah, don't forget the rail. Well, the rail is 45 feet out here, but okay, one of the things we need to do is first look at the main contenders to see what they look like. So if we look at the 3, we can see the surge indicator, and you can see this horse is going from a 52 GSR to a 69 GSR, and it still won last time out. Here's what we're dealing with. This is a mixed feeling here, because it doesn't seem to have much class, but it won easily against a 36 group, but it's going to a 46 group of SOR, from 27% win down to 6% win, and from a 52 GSR up to a 69. So I've got really mixed feelings on this one. And so you look, I've got a note here on this horse that says wasn't a good trip on this horse, but if you, against a 44 group, the horse got 7th by 5.5. It looks okay. I probably am playing against this horse because I just don't think it's at this level. But the horse does need to be on turf. But it's not the worst looking horse in the world. When we're looking at the 5, My Wife Knows It All. Instantly, I don't really love this horse because look at it's already got low GSRs to begin with, and it drops another 9 points to a 40. So, yeah, I know that the trainer's just reaching and trying to figure out. Look, I just. What happens a lot of times is in the condition book, your horse is ready to go, and you're like, I just need to find a race within the condition. And if you understand the way the condition book works, it'll help you with your handicapping. I don't think that this is ideal. I think the trainer's going, I care more about the condition than I care about anything else. And I don't think the condition fit this horse. That's my opinion. Yeah. And then the only other horse that I'd be looking for would maybe be this horse who is moving up in GSR. I really do think this is the other horse. I think the race is between the 1 and the 8.
Right. The 2 Safi Joseph horses.
2 Safi Joseph horses, exactly.
Right.
And I can't. I mean, this horse broke its maiden for a 46. The GSR is about the same. The win percentage is about the same. The competition is about the same. I mean, there's no reason why this horse can't win this race. It's interesting, though, that this horse is 58% to win on the win percentages. Like, the win percentage loves this horse. I'll say another thing, too. There's no doubt that this horse had a ligament issue, because it didn't run. How many times have you ever seen a horse be off 2.5 years and win first time out?
Correct. And this horse was bet. She was bet, and it's a 12-horse field. So obviously traffic problems. So it could have been traffic problems, which the horse responded and got a clear. Yeah, that leads me to believe that the 1 horse is better, maybe better, more upside than the 8. Even though the 8 has 1 over the track, 1 at Gulfstream. I'm just taking a shot that I think like I said, if this horse could win off a couple of year layoff, that this horse can come right back and win again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough thing to do. Yeah, I have mixed. So because I'm using so many of the same horses in a lot of my plays, I'm gonna use the 1 and 8 both.
1 and 8 makes sense.
Yeah. 8, 1. Okay, we have race number 6 at Santa Anita next. All right, let's play this thing.
Yeah, let's run this simulator because this is a race I could use help with. I really, really struggled with this race.
Okay, I'm here to help.
Okay, you're the Santa Anita. You're the West Coast guy.
I'm the West Coast guy. That's true.
I know you on the West Coast tracks. Here comes Scotty, pick 6.
I'm notorious.
Yep. And I have to tell you, I go to any West Coast or even Gulfstream. I happen to mention your name. Oh, boy, I get the white glove treatment. I got waitresses, waiter, everybody coming over to me.
I think they probably kick you out of the track. So this looks like a wide open race. It's interesting that the 1 horse is a price play on the simulator. Does not like it. It does seem to have. You can see. Now I have to look at the styles. When the first call, it looks like the 1, 2, and 3, and even the 4 and 5 are right there. And then the 1 starts falling back almost immediately. So I think the only way to handicap this is to go through each of the past performances and look at the metrics and compare. So this horse has been on the turf 1 time, clearly has no breeding. I agree with the simulator. I think this horse is going to show some speed early and do some damage to some of the other front runners and stop. So I'm going to say no. The 2 horse, second off the layoff, faced a 64 group last time out. Wow. And still ran a pretty decent race off the layoff while braking slow. And now moves up from a 64 SOR down to a 52, 1% to 46%, and the GSR stays the same. I mean, clearly this is the horse to beat. Even money on the morning line, top EquinEdge pick. All right, so obviously the 2 looks like a tough horse. That being said, the system doesn't exactly have that horse winning that easily. So maybe it's a horse, if we're trusting in the simulator, we want to try to beat. If we look at this horse, it ran on 5-10, same level, drops from 28% to 7%, lost by 11 lengths. The only thing you can look at here is Steve Knapp going to improve this horse that much?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, he's 18% first off the claim. That's a crazy claim. If you think about that claim, $30,000 claim at this level, I mean, I don't know. That's an interesting claim for me. Let's see the jockey trainer combination. A lot of times that'll be a tell. They're 19%. So he uses Aguilar, who's only a 9% jockey. Very interesting. 126 pounds. Let's see if the workouts are any kind of tell. Nothing. Slow. Nothing to speak of. All right. So that horse is interesting. 5-2 on the odds makers morning line by John White. And we have that horse at 7-1, 7%. I can't use this horse. I got to let this horse beat me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're on the same page with the 3 horse. So I eliminated 1 horse. So yeah.
Okay. Then we go to the 4. Same level. Win percentage drops a little bit. Everything's the same. The race before that faced a 50 group. But that was a non-winners of 2. It was a restricted non-winners of 2. He only faced 5 horses last time out, got 4th by 2.5. Was right there, no doubt about it. And Rispoli was aboard. Now you're getting Diego Herrera. Now the simulator has that horse right there, but that's a drop in jockey. I probably would say no. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, as we're going through, I'm starting to get a little more clarity, I think. And it seems like the 2 comes out of the best races, right? At this point is the biggest drop down. But this horse has had issues. Been laid off a couple times, raced in 2022. Then you had that layoff to only raced twice in 2023, coming back. This is a horse normally at 2-1 morning I'd avoid. This horse is 0 for 6 on the Santa Anita turf course, has 1/3. The more that I look at it, I think this 4 is a definite contender. And then I'm looking at the 5, B Catcher, with this horse. Now, the issue with B Catcher, this horse raced with the
National General.
Right, on May 10th.
Right.
And they were right there together. The B Catcher actually beat this horse by a no. So they're together. And one was 2-1 and the other one was 6-1-ish. 4th race off a layoff. Now, I guess the 1.25 race that Malibu Coast was in, it was 2 different 1.25 races. So the 1.25 race, April 20th, this horse was 72-1. It seems that. I'm sorry?
42-1.
On B Catcher?
Oh, on B Catcher, no. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So B Catcher was 72-1 on February 16th, right? So, B Catcher has been racing at a longer distances than National General, right?
I think that was a weak race, though, Dave. Look at David. If you look back, look at how long this horse has been in these non-winners of 3 races.
Yeah.
I mean, this horse can't get there. I mean,
No,
you're talking about since 2022.
Yep. 2 for 27. I believe now there's a trainer change. Dan Blacker was the trainer. Now, Dan Blacker is on suspension, I believe, right? Yeah. So, and this Juan Landeros is 3 for 11 since he took over the horse. So this horse, to me, this horse has an outside shot, but again, 2 for 27, 0 for 12 on a Santa Anita turf course. I think because this horse has been racing at longer distances, maybe this horse just wants to go a further distance.
Why don't we look at the 5-10 past performance? It had 4 of these horses in here. You could see
idea.
Limited Heat Wave, B Catcher, National General, and Tom and Jazzy. First, I'll run the simulator. first, second, third, see if this thing played out the way it was supposed to. So it had Aurelian Man. So it had Tom and Jazzy winning, but that horse did not run a lick. National Giroux second, that horse didn't run. The one horse limited heat wave, that horse didn't run. So it had, you know, we can look at the competition and see this horse actually came back to win. So Birth of Cool actually came back to win next time out. So that's a good thing.
That's a good sign.
Right. And then this one, it finally got through the non-winners of 2. And then it came and it went gate to wire and won that race on 5-10. But let's watch this race and see. So we're looking at the 1, 3, 5, and 6.
We're in the gate. And they're off for Aurelian Man. Bounces out, opens up a length and a half, just like that. Birth of Cool into second, with National Genereux now inching up a closer third. B Catcher tucked in fourth. Tom and Jazzy and Limited Heat Wave 5 lengths covers the field.
So B Catcher
Man dictating
is
turns, leading by a length and a half. Birth of Cool is
sitting a nice trip.
B Catcher hugs the fence in third,
right? And then
National
the 5-horse National Genereux is sitting a good trip as well.
They come onto the backstretch with Aurelian Man loose up top. It's a 2.5 length advantage on Birth of Cool and
you know, a lot of times when this is a prime example, David, of
moving up on the outside,
which horses get the trips, right? How fast the pace was, all those things, right? Because these horses could trade winning.
Correct. And it looks like the Aurelian Man's going wire to wire. So
it's a
right. I mean,
was there anybody who was a closer that was compromised? That's the
47-3. I mean, that was, they were crawling. That's very slow over at Santa Anita. You know, and look at the pace. What is hard for me to see though is watching this 4-horse struggling like this, but yet none of the other horses are even, you know, coming. I'm really looking right now at the race between the 3 B Catcher and National Genereux. Like that's, to me, that's the race. Look at the 1 and 6 people run. So like what is happening here?
16th to go. Aurelian Man.
These two horses are neck and neck.
Man by 2, and it's Aurelian Man who took them all the way.
Look at this.
Ahead and wave goodbye. Birth of Cool, a hard trying second. Tight photograph.
I don't know what you do with the 1 and the 6.
And National Genereux.
But the 3 and the 5. So B Catcher and National Genereux. So we'll go back there. That's really what this race is because it's the same distance. Now let's look at what the numbers are giving, right? The numbers are saying that the 4 horse is 18%, National Genereux, and that horse was 24% last time out. B Catcher was 6%, now is 11%. The morning line though on B Catcher is 7-2, but the EquinEdge second pick is the 4. So there's a lot of confliction in here.
right. And the way that race developed, Scotty, is it a possibility that we're going to get another wire job? Somebody's just going to step up because wasn't a lot of pace. Is it possible Seattle Breakout can get the lead here and go a long way? I'm not sure. Seattle Breakout got enough speed. But the horse's GSR is a 44. I mean, it's dropped a big time. Like I don't see it. Like I don't see it either.
Yeah, and then of course Flint Stroll didn't run a lick out of that race. Now did they come out of that race? That's race 3. No, they raced on 5-10, but not in the same race. Limited Heat Wave, I mean, didn't run a lick in this race. On heels first side, I mean, maybe it had some issues. I didn't see any issues personally. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
Limited heat
but
wave.
The pace factor has Seattle Breakout with a 61 and Tom and Jazzy with a 51. So, I mean, that would be a concern. These horses, that last race, Aurelian Man just went wire to wire pretty easily, right? Modest fractions, 47 was slow. What I'm saying is, there a possible scenario? The one trying turf for the first time is a 6-year-old.
I'm looking at limited heat wave really quickly. It said something about the trouble line said first turn
of Cool is a clear.
Oh,
Okay.
just on heels and checked up a little bit. Nah.
3 lengths off the lead.
I mean, I don't think that really
National General
affected
just
that
outside
horse.
of him. Tom and Jazzy limited heat
I'm
weight.
trying to see whether this horse at a
Come onto the
price could
backstretch with
turn it
Aurelian
around
Man
against
loose up
B
top.
Catcher
It's
and
a 2.5
National
length
General.
advantage on Birth
I mean,
of
it's got a
Cool
lot
in
of horse
second.
right here.
Then cut
I'm going to
far
forward it a
turn.
little bit.
It's a 2-length edge on Birth of Cool. Wave is trailed throughout. Coming to the quarter pole.
You know what I think the
Aurelian Man
situation
a
with,
length
and then
to
the one
Birth
kind of
Cool,
loses
closing
ground.
in from second. It's 3 more lengths to National General on
I mean,
the
he's
outside
working
of
on
B
this
Catcher.
horse.
Aurelian
Yeah, I
Man
don't know
digging
that there's
in
going
with
to be
an
the
eighth to run.
pace that's going to set
Opens
it up
out
for
to
this
3
one.
once again.
You can
Birth
see,
of
look
Cool
at
trying his
the
best.
3 and the
National
4,
General,
or
B
3 and the
Catcher,
5 here.
16th to go.
Is that they're in their own
Aurelian
race?
Man, Birth of
You know, based
Cool.
off of that,
Aurelian Man by 2, and it's Aurelian.
I don't think we can use the limited heat wave. I really don't.
Yeah,
Right.
I wasn't inclined to do that. Right.
Now, this Flint stroll is, if you look, this horse is why would you put the horse on dirt? Why? I mean, look, the last 4 races on dirt, and the GSR is 42 compared to 63 now. I mean, just saying, like, this could be your price horse in a race that looks wide open. I mean, clearly this horse wants the turf. I just think, and I just think this horse has been mismanaged for sure. Like, this horse should never have been on the dirt.
Yeah, this horse hasn't lifted a hoof, and then dropped it down to 10K claimer at a mile last race.
Well, that's not that. I know if that's an open claimer, a non-winners of 3 lifetime 16,000 is a lot easier than that.
Right.
You know, so
yeah, that's I'm leaning Scotty to using either the 4 or the 5 here. Rispoli off the 4. So do you go with an 8% jockey and a 12% trainer rather than a? Yeah, I just don't think B Catcher has enough speed.
I just think that the drop in class, I mean, that wasn't a bad effort first off the layoff against a 64 group. I think the drop in class is just way too great. I really do. I think the 2 is a free square.
Okay.
I'm going to put the 2 on both of mine. I just think it's, yeah, it's going to go off at probably 4 to 5, but I just think it's too good for these.
With that being said, I'm going to try to beat the 2. I don't like the sporadic starts, the constant layoffs. This horse obviously has some physical issues, and I'm going to give a shot. I mean, Juan Landeros hasn't done much wrong since taking over for the main trainer Dan Blacker on a suspension. I'm going to go with B Catcher. I'm going to go 5 over the 4 here. I'm going to toss the 2 out. Just thinking that this dropping in class, I mean, they just might be trying to unload this horse. Not sure this horse can run anymore. So it's 5-4 for me.
Why do you want to do that to me? I mean, we talked about this 4-horse national. I mean, this horse.
We know it looks like the 4 can stay closer to the pace.
No, B Catcher though has, and B Catcher beat National General last time out barely, but beat the horse. And
Correct.
B Catcher hasn't won a race since I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you either have to take the 2, or you have to. I mean, this one was in non-winners of 3. I don't know how many non-winners of 3, and barely got through non-winners of 2. So I can't like Flint Stroll either. Even though it is moving up in GSR and should run a much better race. That's what I'm saying. Like, the 2 is just facing such easier horses.
Right.
The obvious other horses would be the 4 and the 5. Maybe the 4-horse you would use then, even though it was a really close race between the 4 and the 5. The 4 just has a nose more for the wire than the 5 possibly. So you like the 5 over 4? I like the 2 over 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going against one of my angles. Right, the 4 has 1 over the turf course, and the 5 is 0 for 12. The 5 is 2 for 27 lifetime. The 4 is 2 for 21. I know that's not a big difference, but I just have and the 4 to me can stay closer to the pace. But I just have a feeling that I don't know. I'm just going with almost a gut here. This horse that had a long layoff, third race off a layoff, is maybe a little room for upside. And this horse has in the past been running against a higher class and at a distance. So, yeah, I'm going to go 5-4. Might regret it. 5-5, right? 5-4.
So, hey, Adarsh, Chrissy, catcher, best bet of the day. Which one's catcher?
B catcher.
Oh, B catcher. Got you.
All right.
Really?
There you go. Put me over the top. It's good enough for Chrissy. It's good enough for me. She qualified already. So
best bet.
All right. There you go. Put it over the top.
She qualifies for the NHC, and next thing you know, she's an expert. What?
Yes.
Come on. 5, best bet.
And Jeff Gunn, number 5, free spot.
5. Look at what's going on here. I feel like
You're on my side.
I feel like I'm being punked right now. That's what I feel
think
like.
you may be.
Let me ask you one more question. Would McCarthy really put JJ Hernandez aboard this horse if this horse wasn't any good anymore?
Yeah, that's a very good point. This horse classes up. It's by far it has a class advantage. Again, I just don't love the stops and starts here. This horse is 4-year-old with 8 starts, right?
But here's the thing. They know, this is what I think. This horse, look at the layoff lines. I mean, they're brutal. This horse clearly has its issues, and it probably won't have many more races in its life. And they know that, and they're like, but this is such a massive drop in class. Yeah. They're like, you know what? Let's just win a race. Let the connections enjoy it because it doesn't have many more.
Right. Now, if I was at Santa Anita today and I was in the paddock and I saw the owners, who I probably don't know who they are, and they had suits and ties on and the trainer had a suit on and they're all smiling, I'd be like, all right, where we go. They're trying to get their win. They're here for their win. And I knew, I know a lot of the owners and trainers at Belmont and Aqueduct when I used to go. I'm like, hold on a second. Last time this horse ran, the owners, no one was here. Now now the trainer has a suit and tie on. I'm like, okay, there you go. Now we're getting 6-1 instead of 3-1. Time to get it done. And that angle did work sometimes.
Yeah. So
now, if you get a call from your trainer and he says, you're going to be there this Saturday? I'm like, yeah. And he says, make sure you put your suit and tie on, all right? That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
By the way, speaking of trainers, I got a call. So, my horse, Galicia Spirit, who was running at Gulfstream Park and had a bone chip, very few of those horses come back to be the same horse. I'm getting the horse is going to be back at the track next week, and I'm getting rave reviews on how Galicia Spirit's doing.
Great. Now, was it a cannon bone?
No, it was just at the top of the knee. There was a bone chip.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, cannon bone.
Yeah. And so I'm hearing that the horse is doing amazing, and so I'm super excited about that. So it looks like we're gonna take Galicia Spirit to Kathleen O'Connell's my trainer. It looks like we're gonna take him to Monmouth Park.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So super pumped about that. I'm delaying definitely, but you know what's throwing me off? I want to just key the 2, but the simulator only has this horse barely beating the 4. Yeah, no, forget this. It's the 4. I'm doing the 4, and if I lose, I hope it's to your guys' 5. But the 5 I can't do the 5, so I got to do the 4.
Okay. Now, when there's 2 wins by 10 lengths and never in doubt, and we're like, wow, Scotty was right, but he went off of it, and it costs you. Well, let's not get to that point, but.
Well, the thing is, you had Rispoli aboard. Rispoli was aboard that horse, that 4-horse, 4 damn times. Did win one time though. Did get a win. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 4. If the 2 wins, it's gonna be a really low price anyway. So I'm just gonna go with the 4. Why not?
Right. And again, we've had that discussion before. If you like 2 horses, or you think it's the 4's got a shot, the 2's got a shot, always go with the longer price horse, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Dan. Okay, let's. We have 2 more races to go. Races 7 and 8 over at Santa Anita. And let's see what the simulator says in race number 7. Anybody have a strong opinion in this race number 7? David, you?
Yeah, well, let's see what the simulator does with the speed here.
You got to call your shot ahead of time. Stop it.
Okay, it's all mineral rights for me. Number 1, mineral rights. There's 2 horses on a drop down. These are the 1 of the 3 dropping, biggest drop in horse racing, maiden special to maiden claimer at Santa Anita. That's huge. So to me, it's 1 of the 2. It's a 1 of the 3. And I love that workout by the one on May 12th. That looks like a good work to me. I don't know. Maybe we should give Bruno a call. So I'm not worried about that. This horse didn't lift a hoof on turf. Drops way down. And
that's a really good point, by the way. You're absolutely right, because if you look at the dirt, I mean, they've got 2 races on the turf against much better horses. Wow, big drop in class. Win percentage goes up. GSR goes up. You're absolutely right. And look, what's interesting too. Well, not only is the horse 9-2, but the 4 horse, who's 4-5 on the odds makers morning line and burned a lot of money, by the way. This horse is 3-1 on the EquinEdge morning line. Not 4
yeah,
to
I did
5.
notice that. That affected me. Yep. So here's the thing. So I say that the biggest drop at Santa Anita, especially, is maiden special into a maiden claimer 20. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, even if you don't agree, I'm going to make that statement.
No, I 100% agree.
Yeah. So that's what happened with Warren Showgirl. So drops in from a maiden special off a long layoff, and the horse ran decent. Got up, almost won, lost by a nose. Then stretched out to a mile. What happened? Almost got up, had the lead, lost by a nose. That shows me that this horse does not have the winning profile. This horse is now at the proper class, obviously. But I'm going to take a shot. Let's see what the 1 and the 3 can do at their proper class. So I've seen twice Warren Showgirl losing by noses each time. Yeah. I don't know if it's just bad luck or just, hey, but that does not.
Well, here's the problem with the 4. Here's the problem with the 4.
Little bit of a layoff. So now is this what's going to regress a little bit?
Well, here's the problem with the 4. The 4 horse is facing a bunch of droppers into this $20,000 race. So the likelihood of that 4 winning is very slight. I don't see it. You there? Did I lose you? David?
Scotty, can you hear me?
There you go. Now I can hear you.
I can hear you. You can hear me?
Okay. I can hear you, yeah.
And I just wanted to point out, too, Jeff's got a good point here. He's got the 6, Hot Trainer. The 6 was actually in that same race as Warren Showgirl. Got off slow as the favorite. First time blinkers, dropping from a 50 claimer to a maiden 20. So proper spot. That horse has a big shot too. I might have overlooked that.
I don't see it.
So I don't. Cruiser working well also.
I don't see it. This race is between the 1, 2, and 3 in my mind. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. It's a rough one. The 1 is making a huge drop, no doubt about it. The 2 horse, but look at the 2 horse. The 2 horse is dropping as well, but running better. The 1 horse hasn't picked up its feet in those 2 races. That's but I love everything. The going up in win percentage and GSR and down in SOR. Here's a horse going up at win percentage, GSR is the same, dropping big in class. I mean, look what this horse did against a 46 group. I don't think the stretch out's going to be a problem for Nick Alexander, who's one of the best California bred owners there is, if not the top. And then you have Blonzilla, Martin Valenzuela, who is a really good guy, great family. Frezu jumps aboard. I mean, this horse did not break good last time out, had some issues in that race. And this horse has been facing better horse and drops as well. If we throw the 4 out and we run the simulator, this is what it has. It would be 2, 3, and the 6 and 1 are right there. Doesn't look like the 5's a player in here. It doesn't look like the 7. Yeah, I mean, you've got 3 big droppers here. Like for me, I'm leaning towards one of these horses. Which direction are you going to go? You going to go with the 1?
Yeah, I'm doing the 1. Yep, 1, 3, the 2 biggest droppers. Yeah.
All right.
1 over the 3.
1, 3. I'm looking at the jockey trainer combination of the 3. I see it's one of those conditions thing we're talking about, right? They're dropping in for 20,000 and they're going to dirt, right? And I'm going to do the 2 on one ticket and the 1 on the other. That's what I'm going to do.
2 and 1. Okay.
Yeah. 2 and 1. All right. Last race. Standing to race number 8.
Okay.
I'm trying to
run the simulator.
survive the internet issues.
Yeah, I see that. We're having some issues. If you can just run the simulator, I'm putting my picks in.
You got it.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Let's do it. So the first race number 5, is at 2:54. We have 6 minutes to get this in, right?
Yes. Yes. So I was just, thanks for going over that 6th race too. It gave me a little bit of clarity. This 8th race, I did have difficulty with too, but I think I have a little better opinion. And I'm going to just throw it out there, because we don't have a lot of time. Even though I like Hey Demps, I'm going with this second pick, Blonde Bombshell. 3rd race off a layoff, stretches out to a mile. I like this horse's race back on October 14th at the mile. And not so familiar with that trainer, Debbie Winnick. Scotty, you're more of a West Coast guy.
Debbie? She's okay. Absolutely. She can train. Just doesn't have a lot of opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Which a lot of trainers who I know in New York are really, really good trainers. They just don't get the owners. Right. And, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a lot of guys that I would use if I had my own horse, and it's not one of the big barns either. So, all right. So I'm going to go 2-4.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Let's see here.
Look at Jenna Antonucci, what she did with the Belmont winner last year. I mean, great training job. And the owner, and to his credit, most owners would have transferred when that horse won to Peter Pan. I know that he got offers; they would have transferred it over to one of the major trainers, right? This guy was loyal, and I like that.
So the 2-horse Blonde Bombshell that you like took 4 races to get through the conditions, non-winners of 2, but was low win percentages to do it, and got through, and then was 15% in the non-winners of 3 level, which is similar to today's level, and did well. Only lost by a little bit. The simulator race has that horse right there. The 4 horse, just want to see. The 8 is very, very fast. So the 8 horse could put a lot of pressure on the 4 horse early, but the 4 horse, here's what I think. I think the 4 horse is beatable. It's a type of horse that it needs to be near the lead. And since the 8's going to be so fast, then that could really set it up for the 2 horse to just sit a really nice trip. So I'm going to agree with you on the 2 horse, by the way, Blonde Bombshell, to finish it off. I think that the 2 is the horse to beat.
Right. And Scotty, the thing that kind of I talked myself out of the 4 was this horse, Hey Demps, just took an awful long time to break her maiden, right? And I don't usually like that.
Yeah. This Quantum Energy, by the way, it's a horse to watch. Absolutely can run here. There's no question. It broke its maiden last time out, barely got up. There could be some speed with the 4 and the 6. The rail is 30 feet out, so it's not too far out. But the 2's tactical, and that's what I like about it. I don't think we're getting 6-1 or 4-1 on this horse. I think you're going to be looking at 5-2. I think this 2 is going to be one of the favorites on the stretch out. Stretch out's not going to be a problem for this clubhouse ride mare. So I think she's going to be tough to beat. Kyle Frey is going to get his second win on this horse, I think. So she seems to be doing very, very well for Debbie Winnick. So, all right. So that is it. I've got to put that in. So I'm going Bombshell. I'm going to do that over the, let's see here, over the 5.
Okay.
I'm going to try to beat the 5 because most of these horses that break their maidens don't come back to beat winners first time out. I think the 5 is going to run a good race and probably run 2nd or 3rd. I hope.
Right. And I just wanted to point out, too, the 5 horse is a 3-year-old against older.
Yeah.
So let me see that horse beat older winners rather than older maidens.
And the other issue, too, with this horse is it's not a good breaker, right? And
right.
Yeah, it's not a good breaker.
Correct.
Let's see here.
You want to watch the 5th race?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Herrera gets off of the 5 horse after being aboard for the win and gets, and now Barrios jumps aboard. It's interesting. Herrera stays on the 3.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But either way, it doesn't matter. We're in. We've got all of our plays in. We've got about 2 minutes before this race at Gulfstream Park. So we'll watch this race and then we'll call it. I'm going to capture my tickets. I'm on the 5 here at Gulfstream Park. You are on who? Remind us again. You there, David?
I'm on the 1. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. David's on the 1. I'm on the 5. Okay.
Scotty?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, no, I can hear you. I lost you for a minute there. I'm on the 1.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody watching and supporting us, and we appreciate it. Don't forget to watch the Stretch Run show tomorrow. We're going to watch this Gulfstream Park race. David, it's always a pleasure to do this with you.
Same here.
I'm grateful for that, and it's exciting to see a lot of the EquinEdge players qualifying for the NHC. It's really neat.
Yep, we can have a nice big EquinEdge party in March of next year.
Yep.
So looking forward to that.
Thanks, Chrissy. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scotty.
And thanks for all the feedback, guys. Really, really appreciate it. I enjoy doing this show so much, and I'm glad that some of you actually like me. So it's good.
Gracias, Oscar.
And we just have a great time.
Tengas un buen día.
I'm just really relishing it.
Thank you, Director. Appreciate that very much. So the 6
Thanks,
horse is
Director.
3 to 5, right? I didn't see 3 to 5. Did you?
Yeah, yeah, taking a ton of money, overbet,
Oh, yeah,
total
yeah.
underlay.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Well, those things mean a lot to
Thanks,
us
Jeff.
because you
Yes,
want to know that what
yes.
you're doing is something that people really want to see. So that's nice. The goal is we really want to see and help people and help the game understand, the tour. I want to show you, like, I wasn't even thinking about being anywhere near the lead or being, I don't know, because I don't need to tell you, David, how good the players are on this tour.
Right. And the old saying, you don't pick to chase the tour picks you. So when you do well early, which you did, now you're locked in. I was right there in the beginning, but then I kind of dropped off, so I'm not chasing anymore. And that's one of the reasons I love doing this show so much. People will ask me, like, non-horse players, like, why do you want to help people get to the NHC? Because you want to win it again. I'm like, no, I just know what a feeling it is and what a life-changing score it was for me.
Yeah.
And now getting the privilege and the honor to do this show is just like a lifetime dream to me. So I know what it was like for me, and I just hope other people get the opportunity. And I will tell you, when Paul Kalia won the year after, I was one of the first guys to congratulate him, just watching him up there, looking at the expression on his face, because I know how it feels. It's almost unimaginable.
It really
when
is.
you think, right. So
I remember I was there. I was watching you. And people can do it. They don't understand. Like, you can do this. And we just want to help and show you maybe some of the ways you should be looking at things. And we take longer to do the show and have the dialogue back and forth. But I put in a ticket. I put in an entry a couple of weeks ago, David. It literally took me 10 minutes. I put in my plays and I ended up getting like third.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's one of the things too. We all have busy lives, right? I had a busier life before I retired to become a professional horse player, but this year is new. But sometimes, with family things going on, you're like, I love the card, but I don't have the time. So sometimes you just rapid fire based on trainers and your experience with horses and, playing these horses in the past. And sometimes they run. It's just, but this is valuable. So going through the races gives me a little more confidence. Like, now I feel it really well today.
Thanks,
but again, that doesn't mean they're going to run for you, but at least we talked it out, right?
Yep. Okay, remind us who you're on.
I'm on the 1.
Okay, and I'm on the 5.
Okay, good luck. It's always good to get off on these Fridays, so good start.
Good start for the favorite Batu Kata, and the gray heads off for the early advantage.
I don't know why I've got this volume full up, so I don't really know why it's so low.
In front now with Slender Slipper on the outside in second. 3 back to Miss Ukraine, who's an early third. Double Cosmo Girl is fourth, followed fifth by 8 Nonsense, and 2.5 to the trailer Jamarada. They complete the quarter in 24 and 3. Slender Slipper doing
pretty slow. Even the 7's battling the 6, but it's slow fractions.
Yeah. From third, it's Miss Ukraine, outside fourth, and Double Cosmo Girl. 3 back to 8 Nonsense, and Jamarada last of all as they go half a mile from the wire. Slender Slipper's a big price, and doing battle with Batu Kata, who's a short price. The opening half was a picked up 47 and 3. The leader is Batu Kata, tries to shake Slender Slipper and leads by almost a length. A gap of 3 to Miss Ukraine. She had a big benefit in that second quarter, and she tries to take advantage of it. 3 more to Double Cosmo Girl. Then it's back to Jamarada, and 8 Nonsense is left.
I mean, the six is clearly okay. Like, you know what I mean? So
right.
I don't think,
but at 1 to 5, what's the risk? We didn't risk anything.
No, my 5 might get up for second, which I'll take. I'm happy about that if it does. At 7 to 1.
Yeah, you're going to get second.
pleasant Friday good afternoon. Batucada, Safi, and Edgar in front, stylishly.
Oh, yeah, that was a procession. I mean, 6, 5, 7, 6 horse was fine. You know, and I want to look at that real quickly, and then we'll call it. But I just want to show people, like for me, it was the past performances were too bad to believe. This is where the metrics can help you, right? Because look at how bad these past performances are for this 6 horse. Hold on, let me get this up. Okay, there we go. So look, it lost by 32 lengths last time out against the 62 group. The time before that, lost by 9.5, got third actually against the 72 group. But when you look at these, and then look, drops in to a 58 group, 53%. GSR is the same, and then wins like that. Incredible. You
Right,
know,
and this was a
right.
big, huge drop down. Yep, huge drop down. And Safi Joseph.
Yeah.
But 1 to 5, it's not going to cost you the contest.
No. So what are your plans this weekend? You're going to, hopefully you're going to qualify, get your double qualification for the second entry into the NHC with winning today.
Yeah, I hope to do that today because tomorrow, unfortunately, for the pick your prize contest, I'm out because I've got a birthday party to attend. My grandson Connor is turning 9 tomorrow, actually next week, and it was either the pick your prize or the Belmont Stakes racing festival at Saratoga the following weekend. So that's where I'll be next week.
That's gonna be a blast. So tomorrow I'm playing in that Monmouth Park tournament. I have a couple of entries there. It's a cash tournament for $2,000. It's 1,000 entry and 1,000 in the prize pool. And so hopefully we'll do okay there. I'm also going to be on the Stretch Run show tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern time. I'll be on, I think, around 1:30, but it's going to be a really good show with a lot of good information. And we have a couple of announcements to make tomorrow too. So big, you guys want to tune into that. And yeah, as always, David, I always appreciate working with you, my man.
Yep, same here, my friend. Thank you so much. I'm so honored and humbled to be on the show with you and just have a great time doing it. Have a blast. So Good luck tomorrow. I expect to see you on that leaderboard and getting into your second seat. And good luck out there, all horse players. Have a good weekend. May the horse be with all of you.